Eagle 98.1 Game Day is on. Presented by your local Super Chevy dealers and Yingling Flight. This is LSU football.
Two receivers right, including Green in the slot. Looking to throw. Van Buren on the slant. Gets it to Green. Green falls into the end zone. Touchdown. Fighting Tigers. To Rodney Tisdale. Fakes the screen. Here comes pressure. Backside. He'll be planted down at the 2-yard line by DJ Pickett.
LSU football on Eagle 98.1. The flagship home of the Tigers. Today, from Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium in Norman, it's the LSU Tigers and the Oklahoma Sooners. Now, here's Charles Hanagriff and Matt Musso.
From Rouse's Market at the corner of Burbank and Lee. Welcome to Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Good morning, everybody. I'm Charles Hanagriff along with Matt Musso and our entire team at the flagship as we take you up to the kickoff of this afternoon's game between the LSU Tigers and the Oklahoma Sooners. The game is a backdrop, a contest that means a great deal to the home Sooners, who can make a claim for a playoff berth with a win today, and not nearly as much to the visiting Tigers, who have a much bigger win to gain today when Lane Kiffin makes his decision public on whether he'll be the next head coach at LSU or remain the boss at Ole Miss. Kiffin said yesterday that he had not yet made a decision. Many people believe this morning that has changed. The Ole Miss contract extension has been on Kiffin's desk for close to 2 months. The LSU job, who everyone knows Kiffin is the top choice for, has been open for over a month. Talking to our sources up in Norman, Oklahoma today, LSU still expects that Kiffin will announce at some point today that he is going to be the next coach at LSU. Nothing is official until it is official, but everybody we have checked with, and we will go back up there multiple times during this show today, is that Lane Kiffin at some point will tell Keith Carter this morning, the athletic director at Ole Miss, that he is leaving for Baton Rouge. It is not expected that there will be any change in that should Auburn upset Alabama tonight and put Ole Miss into the SEC championship game. But again, none of that is confirmed. There's not a lot of sympathy for Kiffin to be pressed into a decision. This has been on his plate for some time. The silent auction that Jimmy Sexton, his agent, has been conducting for the past 60-odd days will come to an end sometime before the end of business today. Florida, who had been kind of fading in this chase anyway, officially bowed out yesterday. Ole Miss has demanded an answer today. LSU might have waited a day or two longer, but ultimately needs a decision today as well. No more waiting, no more posturing, no more negotiating. Today is the day to fish or cut bait, as they say. But for Lane Kiffin, the entire college football world, and I'm not exaggerating, watches and waits. And he's going to have to make a call sometime before the sun finds its home in the western sky later tonight, Musso. But we'll spend the next 3 hours talking about a little bit about the game and a lot about this.
A lot about this, because the finality of it kind of already starting to set in, even though the decision hasn't officially been announced, right? You just know that today is the day, as you said. And I think that was so telling yesterday after the Egg Bowl when Lane Kiffin was asked about it yet again in his post-game press conference about a decision on Saturday, and he said, well, I kind of think I have to, right? Like, finally kind of acknowledging that, yeah, the deadline's here. Maybe it wasn't an ultimatum, maybe it wasn't any of that, but the deadline is here. It's time to go, right? One way or the other. And I'm with you, man. Everyone still says it's pointing in the same direction, LSU. It's just when I actually sat down yesterday, Hanny, and thought after the Egg Bowl about the gravity of that decision, that is just an immense weight that has to be on somebody. Even if he knows what he wants to do, there's still that voice in the back of your head, man, do I really walk away from the best season in school history, even knowing that the best season in school history doesn't get me to where I want to go? That's something that no one can really put themselves in unless you're in that position. So here we go.
I think, and I'm speculating here, I think if he could have everything that he wanted, he would coach the Ole Miss team until their season was done in the playoffs and then take the LSU job. And the calendar just simply is not going to allow for that, and the two administrations cannot afford to wait that long. And so this decision must be made. Bruce Feldman this morning on Big Noon Kickoff said that, talking to LSU sources this morning, we're probably all talking to the same people, is at least confident Lane Kiffin is going to come to Baton Rouge and accept this job today. Nick Saban may have let something slip when talking about the possibility of an Auburn upset tonight, which would vault Ole Miss into the championship game, saying, wouldn't Ole Miss have to let Lane Kiffin coach in the championship game? But apparently the answer to that, unless something changes, is no. Does Saban know? I would suspect that he would be one of the very first people that Lane Kiffin would let know about this. And so we wait. We do not have a time for any announcement. This could come at any moment. Could come before the game, could come after the game, could come during the game. We have not been given a timetable on any of that. And so we wait. You're welcome to wait with us here at Rouse's Market. Hope that you had a wonderful holiday, and we're looking forward to a good day of football. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
98.1.
Eagle 98.1 Game Day continues here from Rouse's. LeBear's countdown to kickoff about 4 hours and 50 minutes. And we go up to Norman, Oklahoma right now and check in with Gordy Rush. Gordy, good morning.
Hey, good morning from a cold and windy central Oklahoma.
Kind of figured the weather might be like that, as if we needed any more hindrances to the offenses today.
Right.
These are two offensively challenged teams, LSU probably more than Oklahoma, and two pretty good defenses. Oklahoma's statistically better than LSU. So, Gordy, throw in the weather, and points are going to be at a premium today. Yeah,
points should be at a premium. The good thing, there was talk of rain before this football game. During the football game, most of the rain has actually got in and out of here, and really the chance of rain is minimal. if you hadn't been to Oklahoma, the wind is double digits, right? And I think that's a concern at this ball game.
Wind advisories from the north at 20 to 25, up to 20 to 25 miles an hour today. So it'll be tough for sideline reporters today, I think, braving the elements. Gordy, what's on everybody's mind, of course, is Lane Kiffin and the decision that is coming today. Not since LeBron James sat down with Jim Gray. I think has everybody waited on a decision like this. From your vantage point up there, give me what you are hearing around the team.
Well, I think the same is what the Nationals getting out, is that the smoke is that this is trending towards LSU's way. From what I understand, Keith Carter, the Ole Miss athletic director, was supposed to meet with Coach Kiffin at some point this morning, and then Lane's going to make a decision. And, from all the pieces surrounding it for Eli Drinkwitz to sign that contract, right? It'll be interesting to see John Summerall if he got some word that he was leaning towards Florida. Is he going to wait to see what happens with Kiffin, or is he going to go head over to Gainesville? Everything's kind of fallen in places, and even the kind of sources on the Ole Miss side, I think, are realizing that it's leaning LSU's way. That being said, there's sure a lot of emotion in this. I'm asking myself, how is he going to make this decision? He's going to make this decision before the outcome of the Iron Bowl, right? Yeah. And where Auburn could beat Alabama and Ole Miss would be in the SEC championship game. I mean, the timing is incredible, but we'll see. But I'm hearing everything that you're hearing.
Of all years, for the Iron Bowl to be a night kickoff and not a 2:30 in the afternoon kickoff. Gordy, how much weight do you think that play? Nick Saban on game day today said, and I'm paraphrasing here, this is the first time that Ole Miss has ever had a chance to be in the SEC championship game, and kind of made a plea like they have to let him coach, right? Almost insinuating, hey, listen, I know he's going to Baton Rouge, but they should let him coach this game first. Do you think this is a couple hours ago, this didn't seem like this had any legs to it, and after Saban said that, we're starting to hear a little bit more about, well, maybe. What do you think?
Look, from the LSU camp, I think, hey, if you want to coach, go ahead and coach. I think we got enough infrastructure in place to continue coaching, and then you have the idea, hey, Lane Kiffin's coming, so I think it's easier position for LSU to take that stance. The question is, what does Ole Miss do, and then can you formally start a search if you don't have a posted position? And from talking to the people I talked to, if you can't fire Lane Kiffin, you don't want to have to do that payout. And from what I understand, that contract does not have mitigation in it. So what do you do if you're Ole Miss? I mean, you've got now, if Summerall does not go to Ole Miss and he goes to Florida, then you've got to go find a coach. Your class is in limbo. Transfer portal's in limbo. Are you going to let him coach another week? Because that's what's best for this program when they have their first chance to go to an SEC championship game. If I was Ole Miss, I would be moving on. I would not allow this to happen.
By the way, in the middle of all this is Auburn, also looking for a coach, and this game is on the Plains tonight. Gordy, where does Auburn fit into all of this?
I mean, everything that I've heard from all sides of this thing is that, John Cohen, the athletic director at Auburn, would like for is making suggestions or however to the people that are talking, that he talks about this job about keeping DJ Durkin, or there's some infrastructure that's in place. And, you're calling on these people that when the demand, they hold the cards. I don't care if it's Summerall. Summerall has the card, and whoever's got the cards in this, you can't make those sort of demands or requests if you're John Cohen. And I mean, if you said, 40 guess who's going to be next coach Auburn, it's DJ Durkin. A lot of people said, I'll stay where I'm at. I'm good. I don't need to come to Auburn for a lateral move, and you're going to tell me who all I got to keep on my staff.
Oh, by the way, John Summerall could be coaching he's going to be coaching in a championship game in the American, and could be in the playoff. Grew up in Huntsville, so he's got Alabama ties. But if the Ole Miss job and the Auburn job and the Florida job are all out there, we've been doing this, hat dance for weeks. I mean, what is the best job?
Well, I mean, his wife graduated from Auburn. Let's throw that in as well, too. I'm not doing just the optics of alignment. I'm not going to work for an AD that's offering me, hey, you've got the Auburn head coaching job that's available, and 40% of your staff's already filled out for you. No, I'll choose 100% of my staff because I can do that at Ole Miss or Florida. I don't need you to make suggestions. And so for me, it's either Ole Miss or it's Florida.
The signing of Eli Drinkwitz day before yesterday, I hate to put it like this, Gordy, because I think the guy's a fine football coach, but it seemed to take plan B off the table for at least LSU and maybe for Florida or even Ole Miss as well. Do you think that turned up the heat a little bit on any of this?
Well, I think Drinkwitz was not interested in Auburn. And keep in mind, Drinkwitz has the same agent as John Summerall. And Clint Dowdell, I believe his name is, who used to be with Jimmy Sexton. So, they know what's going on, right? And you work that to your advantage. One of the things being with a good agent. So when I look into it, I think by him jumping on that, he must have felt, one, that Kiffin was coming to Baton Rouge, okay? Two, the Summerall was in front of him in the pecking order in Florida. Three, neither one of them wanted Auburn for all the reasons that we put for that. And so his best scenario was for Drinkwitz to go ahead and re-up and get more money in Columbia, and that's what he did.
Been awfully quiet up at Penn State, too. I'm not sure what to make of that. We've heard Brian Hartline's name a little bit, the OC at Ohio State, but not much else there. I guess that doesn't really factor into this anymore. Gordy, there were some names that were on both of these lists weeks ago, but the Penn State job doesn't seem to have much, at least from where I am, maybe different effect on what's happening in these SEC jobs. No,
I don't think so. I think Drinkwitz was obviously contacted with that and elected to stay at Missouri. Look, I think it's a mystery candidate. We'll find out. I think they've handled this really well. If it winds up being Hartline, there's that DeBoer scenario, which, if he loses tonight, both parties might want out. I mean, you and I haven't talked about this, but we used to talk scenarios. I mean, right now, who wants the Alabama job? They're never going to be back to where they were with Saban. And, there's a group of people that want to get rid of him, will want to get rid of him if he loses to Auburn, right? And they get bounced out of this thing. They lose that game tonight. And, Auburn to play at Jordan-Hare Stadium in a rivalry game, and Auburn is solid defensively. They've just been so dysfunctional on offense. And if they found something with Deuce Knight, who ran all over Mercer, granted it's Mercer, we'll see. It's going to be a ball game. And if he loses there, I doubt they're going to fire him. But at some point, he's like, look, enough of this. I mean, the expectations are ridiculous. The attractiveness of Penn State is, I have all I have that state to recruit from. I have all the means, and I'm in the Big Ten where it's still top heavy. I mean, you don't have the parity in the Big Ten that you have in the SEC, and it's an easier path to the college football playoffs. And does he make a jump? So I think there's a lot of fascinating scenarios, and obviously credit Penn State. They wind up getting somebody that's high profile, then they've done a good job with the search of keeping everything close to the vest.
Now, you listen to me, Gordy Rush. I have spent too many nights of my life watching Iron Bowls that LSU's fate hung in the balance one way or the other for the SEC championship game or whatever. I don't need this in my life today, okay? I don't need to watch the Iron Bowl having to worry about three coaches changing their address because of who wins his doggone football game in Auburn, Alabama tonight. So I would prefer that you put this aside.
I'm not going to put it aside. Now, there's been a lot of Tiger fans worried if Kiffin was going to go there. Keep in mind, Kiffin didn't even get a sniff, when the DeBoer thing came around. And part of it was there was some ill, when he left Alabama, there was some ill feelings there. So I don't think this affects the LSU situation, but I do think it's going to have a domino effect. I think the next 48 hours are going to be fascinating. Yeah, you're going to have the moves being made, and then you're going to have the moves after the moves.
Now I don't know who to root for. All right.
Yeah, you do.
I think.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. I think I know the answer to this question, but I have to ask it as a matter of procedure. You got a timetable on any of this?
No, I don't. I sure don't. I don't. All I heard was apparently there was a scheduled meeting this morning, with Ole Miss athletic director Keith Carter. That's been out there. You don't need me to push that out there. And at some point, Lane's got to make a decision. I think what's interesting, does he make a decision before that Iron Bowl?
Okay, we'll talk about the football game when we come back.
There's a football game.
There is a football game.
Okay.
We'll do that when we come back here live at Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Skull Session. Defense. Presented by Edward Jones. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Now from the LSU Sports Radio Network, here's Gordy Rush.
Our Bears countdown to kickoff, 4 hours and 40 minutes. Gordy Rush up in Norman, Oklahoma. Gordy, we're a little off schedule talking about the football because we had to talk about the coaching stuff first. Let's talk about LSU's offensive line. Good news, bad news. They are going to be without Braylon Moore today, and they're going to be without Ori Williams today. But they get Tyree Adams back. Whether he'll start or not, I don't know. Maybe you can shed some light on what LSU's offensive line could look like today.
Yeah, game day decision. I believe Adams is going to dress, and he'll give it a go. And I think that would be huge if you could get him back at that tackle position. Davis will be at the other side, and then you're really talking about, DJ Chester back at center. Like, Oklahoma has got a fantastic front six, front seven. They're very active. They've been able to get pressure on, on the quarterback without having to bring a whole lot of numbers, which we all know Brett Venables is really aggressive. We remember the 2019 national championship game when he was at Clemson. The whole first quarter, he played a lot of zero against Joey Burrow. So it gives you an idea of mindset of what he's able to do. Marvin Jones Jr. is a transfer they got on defensive end from Florida State. Has been really good for them, and it's added to that side. So it's going to be a challenge for this LSU offensive line.
What do you think they dial up in the terms of additional protection? Weston Davis has struggled in pass protection at right tackle. We'll see who's ended up playing left tackle today, whether it be Adams, who's been out for over a month, or Kern, who's been a little bit up and down. What extra precautions, I guess, would you say, go into LSU's protections today?
Well, I think, obviously you use the tight ends, and we've seen a lot of Bauer Sharp to help Chip with some of that stuff. I think you see a lot of 12 personnel, meaning Sharp in the game, and then you're able to put Green. To me, Green's a huge part of it in the slot, and I want to be able to use him in space. And the key for me is getting back to some of the zone read movement and getting Mike Van Buren on the run, on the move, not only so he can make some plays with his feet, but also I think he's a little bit more effective when he's able to create. One of the big takeaways last week, a couple things, he didn't have a particularly good game. I thought his footwork his footwork was not solid. He was throwing off his back foot. He was antsy in the pocket at times. And then more than anything, from the pocket, he was staring down receivers. He had that one interception in which Western Kentucky ran his own blitz. The defensive end stepped back underneath a slant and intercepted. He almost got a second one. 2 snaps they ran what we call not necessarily a spot. It's called a robber coverage, in which a safety sits at about 12 to 15 yards in the middle of the football field, just reading the quarterback's eyes. So if they're, everybody's seeing it now. He's locked into a receiver, and so the Bulls is going to be like, I don't need to do pressure him off. And so I think I'd like to see him on the move a little bit. When you look at this game, Oklahoma the last 3 weeks has been +8 in turnovers, right? They have not been dynamic on offense, but they've protected the football and the opponents have not, and that's been the story of their winning streak.
Let's talk about John Mateer and the threat that he poses on the ground, Gordy. Double-digit carries in each of the last 4 games. He had 18 carries against Missouri. He took some big licks in that game, but a lot of what they're centering their running game on right now, at least in the last couple of weeks, has been around the quarterback.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think you're going to see more of it today, especially in the conditions. He's not been the same quarterback throwing the football that he was before the injury, and that's to be expected. I mean, I think it's, courageously he's been out here playing through these injuries and making things happen. And then especially I talked about what LSU's going to do with Michael Van Buren. More so than Oklahoma, LSU really wants to bring a lot of pressure packages. Well, you want to do everything possible to try to slow them down. And you go back to some of the success Ole Miss, had running the football, and some of the things that A&M did is you want to make them defend the whole football field. So that includes activating the quarterback as a runner, and then a lot of jet sweeps, right? And using that as your modern-day triple option, using the wide receivers on reverses or involving them on some jets, getting them going to slow this LSU defense down.
All right.
Well, I was just going to add real quick, Gordy, I wanted to ask you one about Isaiah Satania and how LSU slows him down a little bit because, they always seem to find him in space somehow. Even when you've kind of got him zeroed in, they always seem to get the ball to him.
Yeah, and he had a huge play. It was an Alabama game. He had one in the last couple of games. Offensively, they've had 2 big explosive plays in the last 2 football games. I remember him. He was at Arkansas last year. We didn't get to see him because they weren't very good last year, but he is dynamic, and they do a great job of getting him the ball in space and letting him create, and he's one of those guys that's really dangerous after the catch.
Gordy, have a good call and a safe trip back, and we'll see as the day unfolds. We may have to call you in the post game,
okay.
So we'll see what's going on at that particular time. We'll see some 8-10 hours from now. Who knows what could happen? Talk to you then.
Okay, buddy. Thank you.
We are brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. Hope that you were able on your Thanksgiving dinner table to have some Supreme Rice in some shape or form. Supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s down in southwest Louisiana, and part of the Climate Smart program, reducing methane emissions and promoting water conservation. So whether you got the brown, the long grain, the medium grain, the jasmine, or the parboiled rice, or the low glycemic rice, which is very good for diabetics. Pick up Supreme Rice wherever you buy rice, including right here at Rouse's. And you're going to save a little bit of money, too. For more information and great recipes, go to supremerice.com. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined we 98.1.
Family owned, fully involved, always on site. Start your build at wesleyyusa.com or follow us on LinkedIn.
Eagle 98.1, WDGL and AC1 Baton Rouge. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Orderlocks, presented by Supreme Rice. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed for generations right here in Louisiana. And we're at the Odd House every Monday. It's red beans and Supreme Rice. Parboiled rice, the Odd Father's personal favorite. Now let's get locked in with Jimmy Ott.
Right about an hour before the start of the early window. Jimmy, good morning.
Good morning, man. Supreme Rice has been a big hit for the holiday weekend over here, boy.
That's good. That's good to hear. You want to talk about Lane Kiffin, or you want to jump right into what happened yesterday on the field?
I mean, just in that hold pattern, I did watch Game Day when they brought it up, and Barty Smith, reporting live from Oxford, said that he's kind of deliberating, and this is what you get with Kiffin. You get the whole package. You get the sideshow along with the great offensive mind. And but anyway, he said that he'll be talking to Saban today and weighing out the pros and cons between the two programs and things like that. And they asked Saban on the set, and he said, "Well, I mean, I think he needs to go where he could put together the best roster, and I think he's living dangerously at Ole Miss, where he's so dependent from year to year on the on the transfer portal. He said he feels he could recruit better from the high schools out of Louisiana at LSU, and then supplement it with the portal. So we know that our information has said that Saban, they contacted Saban, he declined, but he suggested Lane, and he has suggested to Lane take the LSU job, and basically agreed in principle. I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10 days ago, and so we're still in this holding pattern. They did say that his meeting would be this afternoon with Athletic Director Keith Carter at Ole Miss.
Speaking of high school football, Knox Kiffin threw 3 touchdown passes last night in a loss. His team lost to Tupelo by 1 point, 21-20, but he did throw the 3 touchdown passes. All right, Jimmy, yesterday the biggest game was Texas beating Texas A&M to hand the Aggies their first loss of the season. I thought that when A&M scored, the key point in this ball game, when they scored to cut it to 3, a little over 9 minutes to go in the game, Texas responded with the touchdown drive, and then the last 2 times that A&M had the ball, the interceptions off of Marcel Reed to put it away. So A&M had closed the gap, but Texas put it away with a strong fourth quarter.
I thought that the game was won to Texas offense in Sarkisian's halftime adjustments. That was a completely different half. They couldn't do anything in the first half, and they scored. They scored 24 points in the second half. Yeah, I mean, it was just so. Reed, he can be inconsistent. I mean, he made some good plays. Did get injured, came back in the game, but this was a very close game. But I mean, at halftime, did you think that Texas was on their way to scoring 27 points?
I did not. I did not.
And I mean, they were getting beat up front. I mean, they couldn't run the ball. They haven't had a whole lot of success running the ball, period, the whole year, much less against a respected front like Texas A&M. So I thought that's give Manning, give Sarkisian, give them the credit in the second half, because they just really, and look, Reed got them. When the first time they fell behind 10, they scored and put a little pressure on them. They come right back. And how ironic is that, though, on the key third down, to use his legs, the quarterback draw for the touchdown. So interesting game last night, but something that I just did not see when that thing was at halftime.
Texas A&M will be in the playoff. They will not be in the SEC championship game, but Georgia clinched their spot. Has their spot clinched. But yesterday they had a non-conference game, kind of a rock fight with Georgia Tech. This wasn't one of those offensively beautiful games, but Georgia did just enough, and I thought, they ran the football much, much better than Georgia Tech did in the game yesterday.
Well, they're better up front. Their roster is better. And so they should. And one thing it was for sure, they were tired of seeing the highlight film of Haynes King going up and down the field in Athens last year. They made it tough on him. They were not going to allow that to happen. Give Georgia Tech a lot of credit for bouncing back. They fell behind 28-0 at home in that big game against Pitt the week before. It's just something I'm not crazy about. But this is where we are in college football. That game, Georgia Tech's home game, one of the best teams they've had in a while. They're trying to break this streak, and they're playing in a neutral site where they got more Georgia fans than they do. That just, hey, I know what it is. I know Tech's got to, they got to balance their budget. They got to get that player budget, any way they can. But I have to go back to Texas. Tell me you heard Sarkisian after the game. The sport's going to be done a disservice if they don't get in the playoff. Well, maybe you should retire from this disservice-ridden industry, because that is a joke.
It is. But, Jimmy, what bothers me about it is if it even slightly discourages the scheduling of games like Texas and Ohio State, I would tell Sarkisian, I applaud you for scheduling Ohio State, but you can't lose to a 3-8 Florida team and have a case. You get one of those mulligans. You can't lose 3 times and one of them be there. Notre Dame last year lost a game to Northern Illinois, but that's the only one they lost. They'll give you a mulligan, maybe even 2, but you don't get 3, and you certainly can't have one of them be to a 3-8 football team.
Well, if Notre Dame played in the SEC, they probably wouldn't just lose to Northern Illinois they did last year. And they're manipulating their schedule. But, no, you can't. No, Charlie, this is why I'm so – it's going to get worse with the non-conference scheduling. It's going to get worse. They're doing nothing. They have done nothing. All we're talking about is 10-2, 10-2, 10-2. It's just they don't care how they get there. They really don't care, and it's just no. I wouldn't schedule Ohio State if I was at Texas anymore either, and that's just bad for the sport.
Yeah. The Egg Bowl yesterday, amidst the backdrop of Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss doubled up Mississippi State 38-19. Jimmy, they put up 545 yards of offense, and tell me you didn't think they left some out there. Yeah. Chambliss missed, who had a great game, but missed a couple of long throws with wide open receivers, and there were a couple of drops down there. As impressive as Ole Miss was on offense yesterday, and they were plenty, and a balanced attack too. They ran for almost 200 yards. They might have even left a little bit out there. I thought State hung around maybe a little bit longer than maybe they should have.
It's one thing, Kiffin, they talk about, the highlights, most of the highlight plays are when, the guy's streaking vertically down the field wide open, but he is going to be balanced. You look at some of they put up 500 yards at Oklahoma. I mean, this offense is always productive, and they do miss shots. That's the thing. But at the end, I mean, I'm watching Simmons play earlier before they put Chambliss in there, and he's missing guys all over, and then he finishes with like 325 passing. He puts his quarterbacks in such a good position to for success. And part of it is we talk about balance. Very few people mention that when they talk about Lane Kiffin and what makes him special. He, at the end of the day, it's always going to be balanced. And one of the things he does is he's going to run his quarterbacks, no matter if they're great quarterbacks or not. And we've seen some that kind of, he doesn't really look like a great quarterback, but they're always productive. And there were so many third downs, 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 10s, quarterback draws where Chambliss just moved the chains and went back to it. But I tell you what, he missed some guys early, Charlie, but he started dropping some dimes after that, man. He was putting the ball on the money, and and that's where Lane's lucky this year. They're not going to play him if Simmons doesn't get hurt. And that's according to our Ole Miss people. So, I mean, you got when they were talking about, and remember our conversations, I don't know who's going to start. Well, who's going to start? Why not start your best player? So it's clear. And Chambliss has taken this team to the next level, man.
Let's get to today's slate. We're less than an hour away from Ohio State and Michigan at the Big House. Ohio State needs to win to get to 12-0 and set up that undefeated matchup in the Big Ten championship game. Indiana cruised last night against Purdue. What are you expecting today out of Ohio State, Michigan?
Those people look cold. So if those people look cold on TV in the crowd, it's going to be cold. Both Ohio State wide receivers, so they held out for precautionary reasons last week, and they didn't need them. They're ready to go. Michigan gets one of their running backs back today as well. They were held back for precautionary. I just think that Sagan is just a more dependable quarterback in his first year starting than Underwood. Underwood. It's been really, really ugly with the passing. I'll say inconsistent at best. It has not been what they were thinking of. But he's more of an athlete trying to learn how to play quarterback right now. And Ohio State's defense giving up 7 points a game. You talk about a rock fight. I mean, this thing has all the makings of a really low-scoring field position game. Kind of. Woody Hayes and Joe Schembechler coaching today, because it's going to be a 1970s type of field position, 17-10, 17-7 type of game. But shame on Ohio State if they lose this one again. So, I mean, I think that Ohio State wins, but I'm not crazy about laying there or taking the points. I think it's going to fall very, very close to the number.
Iron Bowl tonight from Jordan-Hare. You've had this one circled for about a month that you've liked Auburn in this spot. I noticed the line continues to drop. I'm seeing 4.5 this morning in some places. And just a little bit of a hint of some talk around if Alabama were to lose this, that Kalen DeBoer might consider talking to somebody else, maybe a school in the state of Pennsylvania. And Auburn, of course, is still looking for a coach. If Florida has moved on from Lane Kiffin, John Sumrall may be in their crosshairs that might take him off the board at Auburn. But you like the Tigers in this one.
Well, yeah, Charlie, you know, we've been waiting for this one for a little bit, as far as I like the side, but you've been waiting for it for 30 years because you just can't make your holiday plans without just seeing the results of the Iron Bowl. You and Lane Kiffin, 2 peas in a pod. But anyway, Ty Simpson's been really good this year, really good, because I thought Alabama was going to have a little bit better running game, but with Jam Miller, but it has not been there. So they've been one-dimensional, and he still has been made some big plays and allowed them to, you know, to have the success that they've had this year. Things have bounced their way this year. I mean, you know, Pavia, I mean, if he had anything to take back this year, don't you think it'd be those 2 red zone turnovers in Tuscaloosa? I mean, they get the 100-yard pick six to kind of put it on cruise control against Tennessee. Or that thing looked like it was coming down to the wire. I mean, a lot of things have fell their way in the close games. Now, it didn't against Oklahoma. You know, you get a 70-yard pick six and -3 in the turnover battle. But Alabama is the most public play team in sports betting. Florida State, they were the #1 most public play that opening weekend. Just 2 weeks ago, #1 most public play against Oklahoma. They're betting Alabama like Nick Saban's still there. And that's just not the case. And you know that much better teams have gone into Auburn, Alabama, and Jordan-Hare Stadium and had all kinds of problems. I think this thing should be closer to pick 'em. I think that Auburn might. We can't just put one game and say, okay, that's a, that's a given that you can depend on as far as a quarterback play. Like, man, after a rough start against Kentucky, he put up over 450 yards of offense himself in 4 touchdowns, 2 in the air and 2 with his legs at Columbia, Missouri, who we think is a decent team and a decent defense. So I think Alabama's in for a rough night tonight. I think Auburn's going to win outright.
Last game before we get to LSU. Vandy and Tennessee, we have been operating under the assumption that if you are an SEC team and you get to 10 wins, you will be in the playoff. Vanderbilt will challenge that assumption if they win this game and get to 10 wins because they would need some help, Jimmy, to get in the playoff. They're a small dog in Knoxville. This is a 2:30 game on ESPN.
What Steve Sarkisian think about this? If they had burnt orange uniforms and they were 10-2, would they be left out? Would that be a disservice?
He's going to tell you that they beat Vanderbilt, right?
They sure did.
One head to head.
They sure did. And how's that doing for Miami against Notre Dame?
Not well.
This guy's special, man. Boy, Gordy, he even busted up the Gordy Rush angle. I mean, and that is, senior day's distraction. How about of a distraction? He threw for 12 yards an attempt. Well, 5, 6 touchdowns. I mean, he destroyed a team that had a little momentum in Kentucky. I mean, absolutely destroyed them. And I think who are you going to take? You going to take Aguilar or you going to take Pavia? I don't care where they play. He certainly doesn't care where they play. And I think that Clark Lee, I think that's a good thing for obviously great thing for Vanderbilt. It's a good thing for the sport and for the league that they maintained Clark Lee has done such a great job because they have a chance to build off of this momentum. They have money at Vanderbilt, but finally their boosters are excited. Their alumni is excited about donating and helping out support the football team. But I'm just going to take Pavia on the road here, Charlie. We don't have to tell you. He's special, and they're underdog again. Man, what a great win this would be to go and win in Knoxville. So it's going to be a great atmosphere. Never this much excitement for this game between Vanderbilt and Tennessee. And man, Diego Pavia, he's not the typical. He doesn't fit your typical profile of his Vanderbilt student, but he has brought so much excitement to that program, and he's damn good. And I like him playing for my team.
LSU and Oklahoma at 2:30. Jimmy, I noticed the total today in this game is 36.5, which, to my knowledge, I'm trying to remember. Maybe you can think of a game that a total was that low for an LSU game, conference or otherwise. Obviously, you've got a great defense in Oklahoma, a really good defense for LSU, and 2 offenses that are struggling. LSU's obviously more than Oklahoma's. What are you expecting today in Norman?
I was in Orlando one year when it was a monsoon coming down.
Yeah.
Okay, that was probably it. But there's some weather conditions that are applying to this game as well. So,
Heavy winds.
I still, 30 up to 40 mile per hour gusts. They'll always tell you the snow, it's not that big of a deal. The rain, the wind. And the wind is going to really hurt the passing game for both teams. And the passing game hasn't been great for both teams. So LSU, the strength of their team is on the defense. I mean, Charlie, we can't block mediocre to bad defensive fronts. I was going to block Oklahoma today. I heard you and Gordy talking about you get one offensive lineman back, but that's just been the thing, the constant, the Achilles heel of this whole roster this entire season has been the offensive line, and they're going to have a rough day. And you're starting to see, and I heard you and Gordy talking about sort of some of the effects now of those hits that we're seeing on Van Buren that we saw on Nussmeier. And, you get hit, hit as a quarterback, you start anticipating getting hit. Even then when you have a little time, it messes up your mechanics. It unsettles you. Like Nick Saban wasn't so much stacking the quarterback, talk about affecting the quarterback. And that has a residual effect. I think we're starting to see some of that with Van Buren as well that we saw with Nussmeier. I like the under. I love the under, actually. So, and there's a lot to play for, it's another coach that was fighting for his job at Venables. So to get him into the hey, Charlie, if they win, they get to the playoff, they give him a 7-year, $100 million deal.
10 wins in Norman trumps 10 wins in Nashville, apparently. All right, Jimmy, tell everybody.
How about that, huh?
Supreme Rice, big hit for Thanksgiving at your house.
The dirty rice, the gumbo, man, you talk about outstanding, man. And I told Lee, I said, this is the new rice I'm using, huh? I said, you like it? I do. So I said, when you get the approval from your kid, it's good.
Right.
So it's the parboiled rice, and what it is, it's a long grain rice. It's that restaurant quality rice. It's real easy to boil. When you strain it, it doesn't have as much residue as a lot of rices out there. And it's got all the nutrients of the brown rice too, Charlie. Respect your body. So we got to do that as well. So Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. I get it. That's my grocery store where you're broadcasting today over at Rouse's.
All right, Jimmy, we'll see you tomorrow at the Queen for football Sunday, 10 o'clock. There may be a few things to talk about tomorrow. Who knows?
Yes, indeed. We'll see you then.
We will take a break. Shea Dixon, this week is National Signing Day, as if we didn't need something else going on. We'll talk to Shea when we come back here live at Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose. Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Recruiting with Shea Dixon from On3 Sports. Presented by WCK Foundation Repair. WCK Foundation Repair. Support your home team.
And we return here, our LeBears countdown to kickoff, about 4 hours and 5 minutes. We bring in Shea Dixon. Shea, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Charlie, how are you today?
I'm just fine. Kind of a slow news day. You've been tracking this all week. You guys have been posting multiple updates all day, every day. Give me your take, your up-to-the-minute spiel on Lane Kiffin.
I think that it's going to ultimately land at LSU. I don't think many people have deviated from that pick here kind of in the end, given how the past, month has played out. And look, Charlie, I wrote about this probably like 1 a.m. last night, and I think you talked about it. A lot of people have talked about it, but there's the coaching, no matter the profession, sport, or I should say, where coaches are asked, Coach, hey, what's your future? And they say, I'm in the middle of a season. Not right now. I'll address that kind of stuff later. That's commonplace. What's not commonplace is doing that for well over a month and doing it in the middle of what is truly, matter-of-factly, the most historic season Ole Miss has ever had. You would think if he was staying, you silenced that a long time ago. And yes, Ole Miss is 11-1. They had to work through a month plus of distractions from Lane and everything that's going on with this job hunt. So I just think there's too many signs that point to LSU. And I'll say this. Look, we sat here for 4 straight weeks and said, God, can LSU just be quiet? I mean, every single day they're making headlines for the wrong reason. But when it comes to the pursuit of Lane Kiffin, it's been awfully quiet. I couldn't tell you too much that's leaked out. And I think that's a good thing. And I'll kind of wind down my statement, my thought by kind of saying, it's my old recruiting adage. Moose knows this. Watch what they do, not what they say. And look, he can say all he wants, whether it's a tough decision, this, that, and the other. But what he's done is not turned it, shot it down, sent his family to see it, sent his family to Gainesville to see the city as well. Florida has come out and removed themselves from the whole conversation, saying that they're shifting to other targets. That tells me that they probably got word of where this is ultimately landing and it not being Gainesville. And because of that, it's too much here, points to LSU. And boy, what world do you finish an Egg Bowl, win it, go 11-1, you might host a home playoff game, you're an Auburn upset away from the SEC title, and your post-game presser is just somber as Monday's was. So do I think this is weighed heavily on him? Yes. But I think it's weighed heavily, Charlie, and probably heaviest, because it's change. It wouldn't – I don't think this would be weighing this heavily on him if he had ultimately decided, hey, this is where I want to be, I'm staying.
They should have had a press conference like they had at Texas last night. They could have had all the noise come in from outside
bands,
and drown it out. They wouldn't had to worry about it. Shea, if we're asking the question, and everybody in the college football world is asking the question, then certainly the recruits have to be asking the question. And you guys talk to all of these players. What is Frank Wilson or anybody on the LSU staff telling recruits when they ask the question, what's going on with the coaching search?
And they can't give specifics, obviously, and maybe they don't know for certain. till it's signed, each stride, everything. It's not, but they know, what direction things are likely going. And you tell guys to be patient, but I asked some coaches this, and it's the same answer I got 4 years ago, when they were making that transition, and the same before then with when it was Les, right? And Tom Herman's name's coming across ESPN's ticker, and then the next day O's being introduced by Leva as the coach, and each time it's been, hey, commit to the school. You don't know when these coaches, a head coach is a big deal, yes, but they spend way more time with the position coach. They know their position coaches probably won't be there their entire time in college. So you have to be comfortable with the school, the fit, kind of how far from home you are, everything like that. And you turn around and you look at LSU's class and you say, oh man, Charlie only one decommit, not too bad. He's from Florida. He then flipped his commitment to Miami, completely understandable. Everybody else is still committed. So because you have so many Louisiana and border state guys committed, I think they've bought into that pitch or just reality, the smart approach to, hey, when you go to college and you're trying to either just play and enjoy college ball or turn it into an NFL career, you're looking at things just like track record of development for a program, coach over coach over coach over all the years, or how you just enjoy the program versus others. So that's kind of all you can say, right, Charlie? Beyond that, there is nothing they can say to them.
I feel like I need to invite you over for donuts and beer on Wednesday. It's National Signing Day. What decisions, let's assume Kiffin for a second does take this job. Whose decisions are you most waiting on between now and Wednesday?
You have to start at the top. And look, I think this is sort of tied in a few ways. And look, if it's Kiffin and this impact of, oh, look, you've made the splash hire, he's the biggest name, perhaps everyone sticks through that. But I don't want to skirt past this reality is Frank Wilson is very close with a lot of guys in this class. Most notably, let's just say, Shea, who are your 5 stars? Well, you've got Richard Anderson out of Edna Carr, and Aiden Hall's another Edna Carr kid committed at safety. But Big Rich just became a 5-star on Rivals. He's the number 1 or 2 D tackle in the country. And then you've got Lamar Brown here in town, Baton Rouge. He's the number 1 overall player in the country. He's going to play D-line as well. The day he committed, I was in the U-High gym. He said, hey, look, I've been recruited by Frank since I was a middle school kid that went to the McNeese camp when he was head coach. And we've had these long talks leading up to my decision. And then you look at a guy like Big Rich. Think about any Edna Carr kid, Charlie. When Frank Wilson took the podium at his very first press conference as interim head coach, he gives a shout out to Bryce Brown, and saying, I'm doing it for guys like that. That's Edna Carr's head coach. That's Richard Anderson's head coach. So I do think, too, there's the element of we could find out if Lane Kiffin is the coach. What does that mean for Frank Wilson? And in turn, guys like Corey Raymond, and we could go down this list.
Can I throw Ed Ogeron's name in that thing while you're talking?
Yeah, you can. We can just build out the staff right here if you'd like to. But I do think that I think not skipping over the importance of any assistant or personnel person who's played a role in getting these guys committed. But Frank is one that when I talk to recruits and their parents, they ask me, what's your gut feel on Frank? And my answer is I don't know the answer to that, but I guess we'll all find out soon.
It's also front office positions that have to be filled. Yeah,
those are really important these
everybody
days.
can end up somewhere. Okay, Shea, what are you going to do right after the game today? I know what you usually do during right after the game for your coverage. What are you going to do today?
I am going to make sure my phone's charged. I'm going to make sure the volume's turned up so that I don't miss anything. And then I guess I'm going to just watch ball and wait until we hear some news. Here's my big thing, Charlie. I'm not aging you. I'm going to call you a historian of LSU football.
You're so sweet.
Has a head coach ever been named that's not the current interim, anything like that? Has a head coach been named for LSU in the middle of an LSU football game?
Yes. In so many words, Les Miles was essentially hired at halftime of the bowl game. The news broke, I want to say, it might have been, was it Rabelais, Scott Rabelais? I want to say Randy Rosetta might have been there.
Klein Peter, are we going back to the old Advocate days?
No, this was at the what was the Capital One Bowl that year. The news broke right about halftime. Sometime maybe early in the third quarter, the news came out, and of course during the A&M game in 16, the news came out, but it wasn't correct. But yeah, I would say that Capital One Bowl was. We did post game that day. If you of course remember, LSU lost on a Hail Mary in the last play of the game to Drew Tate, and we took calls during the entire post game, and not one person asked about the game. It was all about the coach. So that's my. I mean, LSU didn't hold a press conference or anything like that, but yeah, the news broke in the middle of that game on Les Miles. So that's
what did they go 10-1 that next season?
Yeah. The next year was the Katrina year. Yeah. They lost a game to Tennessee on Monday night, and then they didn't lose again. That was the Rita game, and then they didn't lose again until they got to Atlanta when they were going on fumes. That was a great team. That was a great team, and I will forever think that if there had not been the Hurricanes and they had played out a normal season, because it took it out of them in August, everything that was going on in Baton Rouge at that time, and they ran out of steam in that Tennessee game. It was a hot, muggy, humid night. They had a halftime lead. It was kind of fool's goal, and it got away from them in the second half. They got their legs back under them, and then they went on a run. And by the time they got to the Georgia Dome, they were out of gas. Got their legs back under them and just beat the stew out of Miami in the bowl game. And I don't think Miami's been the same since.
No.
Really,
the fight in the tunnel, everything.
They were still riding the wave of that 2001 and 2002 teams. And LSU just beat them within an inch of their life in that Peach Bowl.
40-3.
Yeah,
was it 40-3?
Won the game, won the fight. The whole way. So, little history this morning, Shea. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
I'll reflect on two of those things. One, I saw Brett McMurphy at On 3, and he had Miami LSU maybe in a bowl game, which is odd because Miami's fighting for to try to sneak into a playoff here, or at least get into the ACC and see if the ACC can fall apart here at the end. But everybody was like, "Oh, that'd be fun." They fought. I said, "I don't think anyone's got the energy right now anymore." And then you mentioned 2005. Remember they talked about moving that game to Arizona State at one of y'all's Football Fridays here recently. I think it was Greg Stelz who told the story, and I always thought this was, it's like, I wonder what kind of coach Les Miles was going to be, and it took about 30 seconds for them to throw a pass on a punt from their own end zone to get needing 14 yards, and they get it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, well, that was a little risky, but probably the 180th riskiest thing Les did across the time at LSU.
If Ronnie Prude would have dropped that ball,
oh man,
Les would have never heard the end. As it was, I mean, guy was wide open. Chris Jackson threw the pass, right?
Yes.
Chris Jackson to Ronnie Prude. It was there, but Prude could have dropped it.
Yeah.
If he drops it, maybe they lose the game. Who knows? Shea, we always appreciate your time. Thank you all season, but we will be in touch for sure. Enjoy the day.
Yep, signing day next Wednesday. I hope everyone has a good one. Charlie, I'll bring a mic to your house and we can just do it together. You can announce them as they come in.
I'll bring the donuts, you bring the beer. We're good. Thanks a lot.
Sounds good.
We'll take a break. We are about a little under 30 minutes away from the start of football here today, and our LeBears countdown to kickoff is a little under 4 hours. Live at Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Trust isn't given. It's earned. On the field, I trust my team. For my healthcare, I trust the Lake.
Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the Lake.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. The Epic Paving College Football Scoreboard. Epic Paving, Louisiana's preferred paving vendor.
I will give you the scores from yesterday in college football. Number 2, Indiana finishes their first 12-0 season in school history. The old Oaken Bucket stays in Bloomington, 56-3. The final there for the Hoosiers. They move into the Big Ten title game. If Ohio State wins today, that'll be a matchup of two 12-0 teams. Number 16, Texas beats number 3, Texas A&M, 27-17. Arch Manning threw for a touchdown pass and ran for one. Marcel Reed threw 2 interceptions, and boy, you know, it's kind of cruel. I know that there's no tear shed over here for the Aggies, but Musso, you go 11-0. You get to the last game. You got the lead at the half. Yeah. You lose the game, and no SEC title game. They lose out on the tiebreakers. So it will not be. It'll either be Ole Miss or Alabama that takes on Georgia in the SEC title game.
Yeah, that's. You know, I want to, like you said, no tear shed. So I want to say it's like one of the most A&M things ever. But that is, I mean, no, that is brutal, man. I mean, that, and you also, Hanny, not only do you lose on an SEC championship, you also probably lose out on a first-round bye in the college football playoff with that loss as well.
Yes, a lot happened there. Texas scored 24 points in the second half. Number 4, Georgia did put themselves in the SEC championship game. Of course, yesterday's game did not factor into that, but they finished out 11-1. They beat number 23, Georgia Tech, 16-9. The game played in the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta, even though this was Georgia Tech's home game, and you could see a sea of red in the stands. Number 7, Ole Miss. You may have heard about this. We may have even watched a little bit yesterday. Beat Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl 38-19. Trinidad Chambliss had himself a day. 359 yards and 4 touchdowns through the air. Will this be Lane Kiffin's final game at Ole Miss? It seems to be trending in that direction. Here's another 10-win team that may not have a place to go dancing. Number 13, Utah beat Kansas yesterday 31-21. We'll tell you that Devin Dampier threw for 3 touchdowns yesterday, but Utah at 10-2 may not have a spot in this. Number 25, Arizona beat number 20, Arizona State 23-7. Noah Fafita threw for 286 and a touchdown. Iowa beat Nebraska 40-16. Hawkeyes finished the regular season at 8-4. Nebraska at 7-5. Ohio beat Buffalo 31-26. Kent State over Northern Illinois 35-31. Air Force beat Colorado State 42-21. New Mexico upended San Diego State 23-17. That was in 2 overtimes. North Texas beats Temple 52-25. North Texas finishes the season 11-1, 7-1 in the American. They're going to the American Championship game. Eric Morris, their coach, has taken the Oklahoma State job, but he will coach North Texas through the rest of the season. And Boise State nipped Utah State 25-24. Broncos finish the regular season at 8-4, and that is your college football scoreboard. We're here at Rouse's. Let them cover your holiday spread here. All your beer, wine, and spirits, plus the bakery, the Mongolian grill, the chef's collection, Louisiana seafood, all of them available here at Rouse's. Let them cover your holiday spread. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Attention diesel mechanics. River Parish Contractors has an immediate full-time opening with benefits. Valid licenses and TWIC card is required to apply. Call or text Big Jake today at 985-479-9858 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on Apply Now. Come be part of the team that values hard work, has a high standard of excellence, and delivers projects on time and safely. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Scouting Report. Presented by Demco. Providing safe, reliable, and competitively priced energy services to co-op members since 1938.
Welcome back in, Eagle 98.1 Game Day live from the Rouse's on Burbank and Lee. Regular season finale, LSU, they're up at Norman, Oklahoma to face the Sooners, a 2:30 kickoff. Not supposed to be the best weather, cold, wet. Just not a great combination if you're from Southeast Louisiana, but we'll see how it fares for LSU as they look to close out a tumultuous 2025. Drew Fabianic, the executive director of the Panini Senior Bowl. He joins us now on the Hooters Hotline for our Scouting Report. Drew, we appreciate the time as always. How are you?
Good, man. Thank you for having me. Always appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. We've enjoyed the conversation all year long. And, man, we got a really good team to talk about here. Oklahoma, they're on the precipice of the college football playoff. They need to beat LSU today, and they will punch their ticket to that event, which, man, when you look at their schedule earlier, maybe not what many people thought, but credit Brent Venables. And one of the big reasons that's happened, aside from their defense, which we'll get to because it's the best in the SEC, but is John Mateer. Drew, I want to start with the expectation that was kind of heaped upon Mateer when he came in from Washington State and just how he's met that. Obviously, there's been some injuries in there as well for him this season, but he's battled through.
Yeah, I think that, coming back that early from that injury, I think probably affected him for probably about 3 or 4 weeks. When you break a thumb as a quarterback, the pressure points on the ball changes. Your velocity changes, your touch changes. I think he's slowly kind of getting back to the form he was in earlier. He's running the ball a little bit more with some more confidence. He's throwing the ball with a little bit more confidence too, because that the game against Texas, it was not pretty. But he's coming, and like I said, he's going to be tough to handle because he's a dual threat.
Do you think the thumb is still bothering him?
I would say, yeah, I really do. I broke one, and mine wasn't right for 6 months. To be honest with you, to get it back to just the right strength and right angle on the ball. So it's not easy. I do think it's still bothering him.
He's definitely gutting it out, that's for sure. Like you said, 6 months for you. You see plenty of guys at the next level have surgery on an injury like that as well and still sit out longer than he did. I think it was 17 days or whatnot for John Mateer. You mentioned his legs, and look, that's an area where Oklahoma's struggled this season is running the football. They had brought in Jaden Knott from Cal, which was a great transfer pickup. It just hasn't materialized there. Xavier Robinson's obviously been banged up. And you have Mateer, who, maybe isn't still 100%. They ran him 18 times a week ago against Missouri. He's not the most dynamic, but he can get in there and get the tough yards for you.
No, I think he's actually a little bit more than that, Matt. I do think he's built like a fullback. He's got strong lower. He runs through arm tackles. He can escape. And put it this way, if you're in man-to-man coverage and you got your back turned to him, he could make you pay. He's a little bit more than just a guy just getting tough yardage. That's just one guy's opinion.
All right. Well, it'll certainly be a matchup. He's been their running game here certainly for the majority of the season, especially with the injuries. Deion Burks, let's talk about him. Wide receiver, has put together a really nice season for Oklahoma. Second on the team in touchdowns. He's second on the team in receptions as well. A guy who, man, you look at him and he's not the biggest out there. We've talked about those guys all year, but he could certainly hurt you in the passing game.
Yeah, he's a little bit bigger than, quote, the smaller slots. He's built more sturdy in his lower. He's a little bit bigger. He's stronger. He's not as shifty in and out, as far as, separating from, secondary people. But he's more so a run after catch guy than he is a separation guy to me. He's been really, really productive. He just hadn't been real productive down the field. He's more, in that short to mid, area, effective to me. But he is a productive player, though.
Does he kind of get lost in the offense because of Isaiah Satania?
I don't know if lost in it. I just think that they've kind of spread their wings a little bit and spread the wealth a little bit more. Satania's more the guy that's going to knock the top off the defense, and he is the deep threat, and he does have great speed. You can see it on tape, you can see it on TV. He's running away from people, busting angles. He can really run.
Let's flip sides of the ball. Talk about Brent Venables' defense, which, in my opinion, is the best unit in the SEC, which by default puts them up there with the best units in America. And they're led by R. Mason Thomas. He's missed the last 2 games at Alabama and then at home against Missouri with a quad injury that he suffered against Tennessee. What does he mean to this Oklahoma defense as a guy who, man, could have came out a year ago, decided to come back, and before the injury was as productive as any defensive end in the SEC?
Yeah, what he brings is he brings pressure on the quarterback all the time. Whether he's getting the sacks, which he had quite a few of, he's getting pressures as he's getting hits, and he's making the quarterback get off his spot. That's what he means to the defense. And I'll go a little step farther. Anytime you got Brent Venables, actually calling defense, you're going to be in for a long day because he's going to attack your protections. He's going to attack, your weakest link. And then on long yardage, he's going to throw exotics at the quarterback to where he's not sure if it's a simulated pressure, whether 4 are strong or 4 are weak. He doesn't know whether to change the protection or not. And somehow, some way, there's always somebody running clean, especially when he gets you in a long yardage situation, you're in trouble.
It's certainly going to be a challenge for a banged up and an LSU offensive line that just hadn't really been very good, Drew, if we're going to be honest, and a young quarterback in Michael Van Buren. This may surprise you. There's not a lot of confidence in the offense right now after the performance against Western Kentucky around these parts. Couple more on the Oklahoma defense. Owen Heineke at the linebacker position, maybe not a guy that everybody's eyes were on immediately when the season started for Oklahoma, but boy, he has turned in one heck of a 2025. Second on the team in tackles. He's affected the passer in the rush game. He's also been pretty darn good in coverage.
No, he's a complete backer, and the funny thing is he's really not their full-time starter. I mean, he's been a rotational player, and if he would have been a full-time starter and playing all 3 downs consistently, he'd be leading the team in tackles. He's really a sub-backer, blitzer, chess piece that Venables moves around, and he's been really productive in every aspect of the game. And, whether it's pressuring the quarterback and coverage, versus a run, he's been solid. Really been impressed with him. And he'll be hard to handle because, the quarterback has to kind of account for him almost on every snap.
What are his outlooks? I mean, I can tell you're high on him. What are maybe his prospects in the NFL draft come April? I know he's got a long way to go.
Oh, I'm sure he'll get drafted. There's no doubt about that. I think somebody's actually going to take him pretty high because of the versatility. And, because of his, him playing on sub downs is big in the NFL because 68% of the time in the NFL, you're in a sub down. You're in a long yardage situation. So his value increases. Plus he plays the run. And I'm thinking, I think he played lacrosse or something like that. And he actually should get another year, but the NCAA hasn't even given him another year for some reason. So, I mean, if he wanted to stick around for another year, I'd tell him to stick around another year because he can increase his value even more.
Yeah, let's get in there potentially as the full-time starter. You mentioned, obviously, on a rotation base this season. Drew, last one for you on the Oklahoma defense. Kendall Daniels has been phenomenal as well at the linebacker spot. Big guy, 6'5", 242, but has pretty much been all over the field. Also has affected the pass as well and coverages, has Kendall Daniels.
Yeah, and Venables uses him as really kind of a detached big nickel. He actually plays outside in most of the time. He rarely steps into the box. He's been really, really effective as a blitzer. He's been really effective in space. And, he's really a good-looking player. I mean, if he's the first one off the bus, you're going like, ooh, I hope the rest of them don't look like this because he looks the part. He looks like an NFL player just walking off the bus. So, he's been impactful, and they've used him really, really well. And that's what I said about Venables. He really plays the player's strength, and he attacks offenses, which not a lot of coordinators have figured out how to do. But he's been doing it for a long time, and he's really good at it.
Drew, kind of an overarching one here on Oklahoma, and we'll get you out here. Everyone's expecting them to win this game. Look, you gotta go out there and play. You don't just play games on paper. We understand that, and LSU's obviously talented. But if Oklahoma does win the game today and they punch their ticket to the college football playoff, do you have like an outlook for them? How much of a run do you think they can make in that 12-team field?
The way they play defense, it's going to be all up to the defense because, again, like you said, they don't run the ball real well, and I think that, kind of hurts their chances. But when you play as good a defense as they do, anything's possible because if you can hold teams down below 14 points, then you got a chance of winning. But are they explosive enough to put 28 on somebody in the playoffs? Probably not, to be honest with you. But again, if you can hold them 14 and they can score 16, a possibility.
That defense is pretty nasty. It's going to be a be a tough test for LSU here later this afternoon and some pretty unfavorable conditions as well. He is Drew Fabianic, the executive director of the Panini Senior Bowl, has been with us all season long here on Eagle 98.1 Game Day, giving us a scouting report. Drew, we appreciate the time all season. We'll circle back for a bowl game, talk about the Senior Bowl then as well. But for now, wish you a very happy holiday season with your family, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Matt. Good luck to y'all.
Same to you. That is Drew Fabianic of the Senior Bowl. We'll grab a break, come back on the other side, continue to count you down to the regular season finale between LSU and Oklahoma. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress...
98.1.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA 21-12681, offices in Baton Rouge. Eagle 98.1, WDGL and AC1 Baton Rouge. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. After further review on Game Day, presented by Alpha Customs. Alpha Customs. Be an Alpha. AlphaCustoms.net. After further review is heard weekday afternoons at 3 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Now from AFR, here's Matt Moscona.
Our Bears countdown to kickoff 3 hours and 30 minutes. Make the sportsbook at La Bears, your Game Day headquarters. Matt, good morning.
Hey, guys. Good morning.
All right. We have seen all the national pregame shows. We talked to Gordy up in Norman. We've talked to Shea Dixon. We talked to Jimmy, who's got contacts in Oxford. What would you like to add at this point from your perspective, Matt, about where LSU and Lane Kiffin sit right now?
Oh, I thought we were talking about LSU and Oklahoma today.
Is that today?
Maybe. Maybe.
I don't know what everybody else said, but I'll just kind of give you my perspective on what the last day and a half's been like. I think on Friday morning, there was a lot of apprehension on the LSU side. I think whenever you have played this out as long as LSU has and you're nearing a decision, that's probably pretty natural to have that apprehension, especially with the concern over the possibility of Lane Kiffin making an emotional decision. Being around his team, winning the Egg Bowl, I think the concern was, does he go into the post-game press conference and think, man, what am I doing? And just announce he's staying. Well, that didn't happen. And the further removed from that post-game press conference, I think, logic starts to set in, all the reasons why Lane Kiffin has dragged this out as long as he has and why he's thought about leaving to begin with. And so as the evening went along last night, with every conversation I had with folks associated with both LSU and Ole Miss, it became pretty clear. The Ole Miss sentiment became far less positive, and the LSU sentiment became much more confident. And at this point, I do believe at some point here today, and I believe it's going to happen before the Iron Bowl kicks off, that either Lane Kiffin's going to let Keith Carter know that he's leaving, or Keith Carter is going to press Lane Kiffin for a decision or make the decision for him. And I think Lane Kiffin's going to end up being the LSU coach.
Do you think that should Auburn win that game tonight, that there is any chance that they let him coach that game?
No.
Okay, I don't either. But I wanted to hear what you thought about it.
I think that Lane Kiffin would love to have this stretch out further. I think he's expressed to Keith Carter that he would like to wait. That I think that's happened today. That he's expressed to Keith Carter that he would like to wait for this result to see if he could coach in the SEC championship. But this is the problem that they've had all along, is Lane is continuing to kick the can down the road because two things are true. He wants to leave Ole Miss to be the LSU coach, but he wants to coach this team for the duration of the season. And as I've said for 2 weeks at least, they are not going to let him do that. And the really complicating factor now today, guys, is John Sumrall is very close to becoming the Florida head coach. And if Lane is leaving Ole Miss, I understand that Ole Miss is going to want to get in the mix for Sumrall. And there are people trying to convince John Sumrall not to take the Florida job yet. So they know Ole Miss knows they're going to have to pivot quickly if Kiffin leaves. And that pivot would be to John Sumrall. So they need an answer from Lane Kiffin. And if Lane's not going to give it to them, then I think today is the day where Keith Carter is going to make that decision for him.
With the shoe on the other foot, would either Ole Miss or Florida, in your opinion, I don't know if you know this or not, let John Sumrall coach in a conference championship game and or the playoffs?
With Tulane?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, yeah. If he agreed to take either the Florida or the Ole Miss job, would they let him continue to coach at Tulane through a conference championship game and or the playoffs?
So I don't know all of the particulars of John Sumrall's Tulane deal, but I had an interesting conversation this morning where there is some belief on the Sumrall side that he would have justification to coach Tulane in the playoff. I don't know that it would be as simple as would they let him or not. I think he obviously would want to, and I think contractually he feels like he may have a right to do that. So that could be an interesting thing to watch as well. But how interesting would it be if Tulane ends up playing Ole Miss and John Sumrall ends up coaching Tulane against Ole Miss if he's taking that job?
Wow. I was still trying to get past an American championship game with two coaches who are coaching their teams but no longer the coach to move on with.
Yeah, and Oklahoma State's letting Eric Morris coach the championship and the playoff potentially for North Texas.
Where does Auburn fit in all this? They're still looking for a coach. It seems like that Sumrall, who has been kind of penciled in there because of his Alabama ties that long, seems to be looking somewhere else. Where does this leave Auburn?
So Auburn was pretty far down the road with John Sumrall. And as I understand it, John Cohen, their athletic director, has maybe not been the best to work with throughout this process. And he seems to be very bullish on DJ Durkin, who's their interim head coach, and going so far as even to insist that Durkin be retained as the defensive coordinator, which I don't think every coach is really excited about having staff members forced upon them. So I think a lot of that is why Sumrall, who was far down the road with Auburn, pivoted away from Auburn. And I think Eli Drinkwitz also was one who was in conversations with Auburn. I think we talked about it last week. Cam Newton was one that was pushing hard at Auburn for Eli Drinkwitz, because Drink was Cam's quarterback coach the year they won the national championship back in 2010. And I think Eli Drinkwitz got kind of fed up with the same thing with John Cohen. So, guys, don't be surprised if Auburn upsets Alabama tonight in the Iron Bowl. Don't be surprised if DJ Durkin ends up as Auburn's full-time head coach.
All right. Do you have, I'll ask this again. I don't think anybody's got this, but I'll ask you just in case, a timetable on when we may hear something from Lane Kiffin today.
I don't have something that I could confidently say I'm reporting at this time. I do believe sometime around noon or in the early afternoon is when we should have an answer.
Before the game kicks off.
Before LSU's game kicks off?
Yeah.
I think that's very possible. I absolutely think there will be an answer before the Iron Bowl, because I know a lot of people are asking and wondering about, well, what if, what if Auburn upsets Alabama and Ole Miss is in the SEC championship game? I don't think it's waiting that long. I think we'll have an answer before then.
Scott, before we let you go, I'd like a quick thought from you on just the gravity of this entire decision and what it means for the future of college football. Because, I mean, look, you have a head coach whose team is a virtual lock for the playoff, could find themselves in Atlanta. And not only is he potentially going to leave, but for a conference rival and before National Signing Day and before all of these things, I mean, what does this do for the future of college football?
Well, I think it makes the decision makers probably consider what Nick Saban said last week on game day about changing the calendar and make that a real conversation. Because this is the one thing that I'll say about college football, for all of its flaws in the many different ways, like through the BCS era and the 4-team playoff and now the 12-team playoff. College football has been willing to pivot when something has not gone well. Like, I mean, Hannah, you remember this, like every year the BCS, they tweak that formula, right?
Yeah.
Remember the first year of the 4-team playoff with the mess with TCU? Yeah. And like TCU was in, they won their last game and then was out because there was the ugly scenario with TCU and Baylor where Baylor had the head-to-head, but everybody thought TCU was better. And so they pivoted how they went about managing conference championships. So I think college football has shown a willingness to change when it needs to. And I think this is one of those things that will probably cause, it will be the impetus for change to the calendar. And I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if you could possibly start the season earlier so you're finished on New Year's Day. You're finished with a 12-team playoff on New Year's Day. Like, I don't know if that's possible. But if that were the case, it would alleviate a lot of these pressures, and not going into the spring semester with the end of the season. But yeah, I mean, I do think this could very well be the thing that's the impetus to change the calendar.
And we've already seen them extend the deadline for the decision on the playoff. Now, that doesn't necessarily have to do with coaching changes, but it all kind of ties in what that playoff is going to look like if they go to 16 teams. That's yet another thing. I liked most of what Saban had to say last week. moving away from a spring football model into an OTAs model would alleviate a lot of the pressure on these kids to get through the transfer portal and get to another school for the spring semester. It would actually allow them to finish the semester in school where they started in school for the year. Imagine that. Right. A pretty novel concept. And maybe we had this. Listen, I was in favor of the early signing date when it came about. I no longer am. I would just assume they go back to the old model, which was the second or the first Wednesday in February for the one signing period. I don't know if they'll do that either. Matt, we appreciate it. Go ahead.
Yep.
No, that was it.
No, I was just going to think about I can go quickly. Just think about the irony of the whole thing with the signing day moving up. The whole thought was that it was benefiting coaches because they would have their roster determined earlier, not only the signing period, but also the 1 January portal. That's the thing that's now compressing all these coaching decisions into the season. I think we said it last week. James Franklin has been hired and fired. Has been fired and hired during the season.
Right.
Like it's a strange dose of irony. The thing they thought they were doing to help make things better as far as roster management has actually complicated things tremendously.
Yep. The unintended consequences of some of this stuff. Matt, after the game, what's up?
Oh, it may be before the game. It may be during the game. I'm just full on lane watch today, man.
All right. Well, you got our number. So anything we need to know, you give us a call. Thanks a lot, buddy. We appreciate it. All right, getting ready to kick off at the Big House, Ohio State and Michigan as the early window is underway. Live at Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Lockmeyer, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lockmeyer, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Off the bench on Gameday. Presented by Shell. Shell is the rhythm of Louisiana. Off the bench is heard weekday mornings at 7 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Now from OTB, here's Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
All right, a couple of little news and nuggets for LSU football. Mansour Delane named a finalist for the Thorpe Award, which goes to the nation's best defensive back. Very well deserved. Now, will he win? You never know. These awards are typically like a year after for a lot of guys. Like they had monster years the year before, they get on a list, and then they're able to win it the next year. He is up against Leonard Moore from Notre Dame and also Caleb Downs from Ohio State. Now, both those players are incredible football players. I'm a huge fan of Mansour. Like what he's been able to do this year, it's basically been there's a portion of the field that quarterbacks don't even look. Mm-hmm. And then once they actually do decide to try to test Mansour, he's either had a PBU or an interception.
Yep.
So like he's taken away a portion of the football field. He is somebody that has completely raised his level of play since he got to LSU. Right, good player at Virginia Tech, third team All SEC. But now he gets here. You knew the talent was there. Works with Corey Raymond, and he is a first team All American.
Mm-hmm.
So incredible season for Mansour, and I would love to see him win the Thorpe. Now you're going against a guy that plays for Notre Dame and a guy that plays for Ohio State. Yeah. That's going to be, as we all know, pretty tough to overcome. But still, even if he doesn't win the award, an incredible honor for Delane to be able to be a finalist for the Thorpe.
Yeah, what a difference a year can make. What a difference a coach can make. And it just goes to show you too, like that this like time of life for these kids, young men. What a difference 1 year. Like one person, it might be the jump from 17 to 18-year-old. Another kid, it might be 20 to 21. You just don't know when like you're going to come into your peak, or you're going to find that rhythm in yourself. So what a difference a year can, like you said, third team All ACC to now being on the Thorpe Award finalist list.
Right.
But look, the award is a voters' award, so the voters all over the country, they're not getting, Mansour Delane news every day like our fans are. So it's like you said, that's why it's kind of the popularity contest from the year before. And I'm not saying that's even
like when
wrong.
Marvin Harrison Jr., great football player,
right?
When he won the Biletnikoff over Malik Neighbors, that was decided well before the award was actually voted on.
And I'm not saying that's like the wrong way. That's just the reality.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's right or wrong or whatever.
The year Delpit won the Thorpe, he had a better year the year before than when he actually won it. It's not just LSU bias here.
For sure.
I mean, I thought that Delpit deserved it the year before he actually won it.
Yep. But what he's done on the football field this year has been phenomenal. Of course, LSU, the strength of the team has been the defense, and the strength of the defense has been the secondary. That's factual. You can watch this. You can turn on the film. You can see that group who is made of primarily incoming transfers. What he has done and what those other guys in that secondary done is really like a shining light for what this whole transfer portal and this new age of college football has kind of brought about.
Yeah.
Those are like the positive stories that come out of all the negative and all the, I wish it was like back in my day type situation.
Yep.
These are one of the positive stories that comes. A guy can go get a fresh start, go get a fresh coach, like when he's coming into his own, and like really boost go from, I don't know what, third team All ACC team player a year ago. I mean, you might be looking at a third, fourth, fifth, sixth round. I don't know what it would be, but now you're going to a surefire first round pick here.
Oh yeah.
And maybe a top 10, 15 pick. It depends on the, team's needs and everything. So is he deserving of the award? Absolutely. Will he win the award? I have no idea. I mean, I think I heard Hunt talking about it yesterday, some different stats. I think only 2 passes completed on him for first downs this year, which is a phenomenal stat. Yeah. He doesn't have the interceptions and like some of the stats that a couple of these other guys, because they just don't throw it to him. And that's actually a really, no stats are great stats for cornerbacks. That just means people aren't targeting them. And when they do target, it's usually a mistake. So proud of him, proud of that work the entire secondary has done. Like, of all the things that have encompassed what we talk about, fighting, playing gritty, playing and straining as a football player at all times, during a game, no matter the circumstance, no matter the down and distance, no matter the score, that secondary unit has done it. And this guy's played at an elite level, and he will be, my prediction before the year was that Aaron Anderson would be the highest drafted guy on this team. Well, it's now kind of shifted over to this guy.
I don't think there's any question about that. And it's a great point you make about the portal, because there's a lot of things that a lot of people don't like about the transfer portal, because no guardrails, no whatever. We understand that. But Mansour Delane, 91 grade on Pro Football Focus and is a dog. AJ Hawsey, 84 on Pro Football Focus and is a dog. Okay, you got Tamarcus Cooley as well. He's in the high 60s, so not as high as those guys. But you watch Tamarcus Cooley, he got some dog in him.
It's just all effort, man.
It's
skill, of course, but it's all effort, and it's that strain, like that word. And I think Frank said it when he first took over. We will strain, and that word just resonated with me.
Yeah,
because it's a great descriptive term of how you have to play the game and attack life like that. Like, you got to strain, you got to fight for it, and that's just such a and they epitomize that secondary.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Great job getting those guys in LSU uniforms. Unfortunately, you only get Delane and Halsey for 1 year, but still, it was a great year for them.
Shout out to Corey Raymond, man.
Yeah, shout out to Corey Raymond and Jake Olson and that defensive backfield.
The godfather of DBU just keeps doing it, man.
The job that Corey Raymond's done with Mansour Delane, and then the job Jake Olson's done with AJ Halsey and Tamarcus Cooley.
For sure. And we didn't, and I know we're talking about transfers, and we didn't even really get into on Monday talking about DJ Pickett and his performance this past week.
Yeah, we on the radio broadcast, we gave him the player of the game.
Yeah,
it was like
fantastic.
6 tackles, TFL, sack, interception, true freshman who might not have even known he was going to play as much in the game because Mansour Delane was warming up, trying to see if he could give it a go. They decided, hey, we're gonna need you. We're gonna need you next week, and so he doesn't end up playing in the game, and so DJ's out there the entire game as a true freshman. And I said on the broadcast, he is in line to be the next all-time great one type of guy that we put up there with some of the other top corners that have played. The Mo Claiborns, Tre'Davious White, Patrick Peterson. I think he is in.
He's in line for that for sure. He passed the eyeball test too for sure. He looks the part and plays the part. Goodness gracious!
But the first day we went to training camp, Huck was there. And he walked by, you're like, who's that alien?
Who's that guy? Like, he plays corner? Like Richard Sherman, but like way more athletic.
Yeah.
Shout out Sherman. And I know everybody loves you right now, and I want to talk to you, Mr. Lane Kiffin. I know you're listening. If you're coming down here to coach this team, you better keep Corey Raymond.
Oh yeah. Don't
you better do it. Don't
make that mistake again.
Don't make that mistake.
Don't
pick like
again.
Don't do what Brian Kelly did and find the biggest, baddest guy in the yard, go fight him the first day.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's like a great example.
That's like that. My like for Fire and Tommy Moffitt. That was my biggest thing. Like he's like, when you go to prison, you find the biggest guy in the yard and you go fight him. Well, you find the biggest guy in the yard and you just go fire him.
Yeah,
prove a point. Yeah. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Trust isn't given; it's earned. On the field, I trust my team. For my healthcare, I trust the lake.
Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Lock Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Attention diesel mechanics, River Parish Contractors has an immediate full-time opening with benefits. Valid licenses and TWIC card is required to apply. Call or text Big Jake today at 985-479-9858 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on Apply Now. Come be part of the team that values hard work, has a high standard of excellence, and delivers projects on time and safely. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
98.1. 98.1 Game Day. The dependable Storage College Football Scoreboard. Dependable Storage. Let us store your stuff. DependableStorage.com.
We start at the big house where number 15 Michigan leads Ohio State 3-0, and the Wolverines have the ball back. They are down at the Ohio State 11-yard line. Ohio State needs the win here to set up the 12-0 versus 12-0 Big Ten championship game. If the Wolverines win, Oregon would go to the Big Ten championship game to play Indiana if they beat Washington. If Michigan wins this game and Washington beats Oregon, the Wolverines would be in that game against Indiana.
Got all that?
Number 5, it gets worse. Number 5, Texas Tech leads West Virginia 7-0. Texas Tech, along with BYU, control their own destiny into the Big 12 championship game in Arlington next week. Number 12, here's where it gets complicated. Number 12, Miami leads number 22 Pitt 3-0. That is already 4.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Miami needs help. They may have a 10-2 record, but not be in the ACC championship game, where Virginia, SMU, and Pitt all come in today with one loss in the conference, Musso.
Yes. So talk about help. Miami needs to win, and they need a Duke loss or an SMU loss or a Virginia loss.
Wait, Duke? How'd Duke get in there?
Yeah, Duke's in there too. So Miami needs to beat Pitt and have Duke, SMU, or Virginia lose. One of those three.
Okay.
And then Pitt needs to win and have either an SMU or Virginia loss.
All right, so there's a lot of things can happen.
Got all that?
ACC. I couldn't repeat it. Louisville leading Kentucky 7-0 late in the first quarter. Clemson and South Carolina are scoreless late in the first. Both teams have had an early turnover. Houston leads Baylor 7-0 late in the first quarter. Dave Aranda's team needs a win to get bowl eligible. He will be back next year in Waco. Kansas State leads Colorado 7-0. That's at the end of one. Iowa State, an early 3-0 lead on Oklahoma State, who hired Alex Morris earlier this week. East Carolina is leading Florida Atlantic 21-0. Caden Hauser, already with a couple of touchdown passes for ECU. Toledo and Central Michigan scoreless at the end of one. Ball State and Miami of Ohio tied at 7 at the end of the first quarter. Noon kickoff for UCF and number 11 BYU. Cougs get into the Big 12 championship game with a win there in Provo. UTEP is at Delaware, Florida International at Sam Houston. 12:30, Georgia Southern's at Marshall. 1 o'clock kickoff for Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State, La Tech, and Missouri State. Georgia State and Old Dominion. 1:30 kickoff for Arkansas State and App State. 2 o'clock kickoff for Boston College and Syracuse. Friends and family only. Those two teams are combined 1-13 in ACC play. Middle Tennessee is at New Mexico State. UL Monroe's at UL Lafayette. South Alabama at Texas State. UAB at Tulsa. 2:30 kickoffs, the 2:30 window. Number 6 Oregon is at Husky Stadium to play Washington. Again, if Michigan, who has kicked another field goal now and goes up 6-0 on Ohio State, were to beat Ohio State, Oregon would get into the Big Ten championship game with a win. Number 14 Vanderbilt is at number 19 Tennessee. Commodores get to 10-2 with a win, but would probably need some help to get into the college football playoff. 2:30 kickoff as well from Missouri and Arkansas in Fayetteville. Final game for Bobby Petrino as interim coach. A lot of smoke report out of Arkansas this week that Alex Golish, the South Florida coach, will be the new coach of the Hogs, but nothing official yet. Eli Drinkwitz locked in a new 6-year extension at Mizzou. Wisconsin is at Minnesota. Penn State is at Rutgers. Winner of this one gets bowl eligible. The other team is not going to a bowl. Penn State been very, very quiet on the coaching front. Wake Forest is at Duke. Musso just told you what that means for the Blue Devils. They need a win and some help. Cincinnati is at TCU. Kennesaw State at Liberty. Troy at Southern Miss. Army at UTSA. James Madison at Coastal Carolina. 3:30 kickoff for Florida State and Florida. Florida State needs a win to get bowl eligible. Their season started with such promise with that win against Alabama, but went south from there. Florida looking for a coach. John Sumrall is the hot name there in Gainesville right now. The Gators are 3-8. 5:30 kickoff on the CW from Pullman. The rare in-season rematch between the leftovers of the Pac-12, Oregon State and Washington State. Oregon State won the first game between these two, 10-7. That was just 3 weeks ago, but Washington State is a nearly 2-touchdown favorite in the rematch. 6 o'clock kickoff for Virginia Tech at number 18 Virginia. Who's need a win, and they get into the ACC championship.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
They win, they're in.
That much I can remember. Maryland is at Michigan State. Rice is at South Florida. Iron Bowl at 6:30. Number 10 Alabama and Auburn wins their bowl eligible. Also still looking for a coach. If Alabama loses this game, well, let's just say it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. UCLA at number 17 USC. That's at the Mausoleum at 6:30. Charlotte's at number 24 Tulane. Wave needs a win to cinch up their spot in the American Championship game as the host next week at Yeoman Stadium. And, of course, the rumors continue to swirl around John Sumrall and where he may be coaching next year. Northwestern's at Illinois. North Carolina at NC State. Will be a losing season in the inaugural campaign for Bill Belichick. 7 o'clock kick, number 21 SMU at Cal. SMU right there in the middle of that ACC race. 8 o'clock kickoff for UNLV at Nevada. 9:30 kickoff at Stanford. Number 9 Notre Dame at Stanford. Irish cannot afford a loss to keep themselves in the playoff. Fresno State is at San Jose State, and the late game out on the island. Wyoming is at Hawaii, and that is your college football scoreboard. We'll take a break. Our national media, Dari Noka, is with us when we return here at Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day, presented by Super Chevy and Yingling. Opposing media.
Ever these two will tangle there in Norman, Oklahoma. Dari Noka, SEC Network. Also, middays on the ref there in Norman and OKC. Good to have you, man. How are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you, man?
Boy, that's a really complicated question to ask after the last month we've had, Dari. I'm just going to say I'm doing great, and we'll just move on. Hey,
yeah, that's good.
This is, I would imagine Saturday is going to be a massive environment with the college football playoff on the line. Give me some sense, Dari, if you would, the significance of this game for the Oklahoma program.
It's absolutely massive, Matt. I remember about a month ago sitting there, and Oklahoma was 6-2, and we were having daily conversations about, man, that last 4-game stretch is pretty nasty. At Tennessee, at Bama, and then Mizzou and LSU at home. And what would it take? What would they have to go to not have to make a coaching change? Is 2-2 good enough? 3-1 seemed like a real stretch. 1-3 maybe would be possible. I mean, that's a pretty gross set of games to finish with after a brutal schedule. And now to realize we're sitting here, on Tuesday going into that game, and they're 3-0 in that, and now with a chance to get somewhere that nobody realistically, you'd hear people that would kind of just off the cuff, kind of randomly pick, I think OU could be a playoff. I don't think anybody that really follows them every day believes that, not with the schedule they had. And so that makes this game absolutely enormous. I think people thought clearing the Missouri hurdle would be tougher than clearing the LSU hurdle. And now that the Missouri hurdle is cleared, I think everybody's now focused clearly on LSU and just hoping that Oklahoma comes out with the focus and the attention to detail needed. But it's huge. It's going to be an incredible atmosphere, man. The weather, from what I understand, is not going to be very good, but the atmosphere should be great.
Dari, the first month of the season, John Mateer was awesome. Then he had the hand injury. We all saw what happened against Texas. The stats really haven't been there, but, I mean, you watch every snap of every game. So give me a sense, if you would, of maybe how much better John Mateer has played since we saw him in that loss to Texas.
Well, there's times, Matt, when he's not playing any better. Now, they're not turning the ball over, so that's big. The last 2 games, no turnovers, and that certainly has mattered. In fact, you could go back to Tennessee 3 games ago, and there was an interception late in that fourth quarter on a pass that just never should have been called, never should have been thrown. But no, I mean, so he's taking care of the football. But I think the biggest thing is this is an offense that frankly does not look like it has any identity. It wants to run the ball, but it doesn't commit enough to it to really give it an opportunity to get going. And there's no downfield passing game, none. And I think that's a combination of receivers that just cannot get open down the field, and John Mateer, who is not accurate throwing down the field. I think there are people that still want to blame the thumb or the hand. I'm not one of them by any stretch. I believe if he's played this much ball since that surgery, then he's healthy. I don't think that's it. And there's questions about a lot of his decisions. He'll have, for instance, in this last game against Missouri, he's got a receiver, Giovanni Gibson, on a quick slant on a 3rd and 2 that's wide open for a first down. and then he's got Satania covered tightly one-on-one down the field, and he makes the down-the-field throw. Well, the first down throw was right there. And I think, you watch enough of this team play, you can go back to the Texas game, the Ole Miss game, and see decisions that he made that just did not seem like they could possibly have been the best decision. So there's questions about all that. People love his makeup. They love his toughness. I like him in the run game. LSU has a really difficult time giving up, slowing quarterbacks down that can run. We know that. So maybe that's going to be a big piece of it. But it has not been a John Mateer that I think Oklahoma hoped to have. And some of it's physical limitations, but some of it, frankly, is just decision-making in the moment.
Dari Noka is with us at ESPN. Dari, also the ref there, Norman, from 9 to noon weekdays. Okay, so how do you sort of, we could quantify, but qualify the challenge against this LSU defense, which, Dari, is really good. And LSU's had to ask this defense to be outstanding all season, even have a shot because the offense is so bad. But let's just focus on that side of the ball. How do you think this Oklahoma offense matches up against a really talented LSU defense?
Yeah, I think they're going to want to utilize. I think you're going to probably see Mateer 15 to 20 designed runs because, we've seen, if you go back, and you've seen it, obviously, but I was just looking at some of these games in conference play and LSU against quarterbacks that can move. They give up, upwards of 200 yards on the ground against the Ole Misses and South Carolinas and, A&Ms. And I'm not saying Mateer is those guys, but he can certainly make plays on the ground. I think that's going to be a big thing. I don't know how much they try the halfback run. They just don't seem to commit to it. Their game is a lot of just short, passes to the sideline. They need to utilize Jaron Canick, the tight end, a little bit more and get the ball in Satania's hands as much as possible. I'd like to see Deion Burks get the football more. He's having a hard time getting open. It's been disappointing for him this year, no doubt, but I think that's what you're going to get. It's an offense that's a little bit looks discombobulated. It looks as though there's not really a plan. They talk all the time about doing enough to win, and it's a very conservative offense that does not want to turn the football over and put the defense in a bad spot. Because if they continue to win the field position game, and with their special teams, they will. They've got the best kicker in the country and maybe the best punter in Grayson Miller. Don't hurt the defense. So you're going to see a lot of conservative play calling, short passes. They'll try the run game. I don't know how successful it'll be. And then I think what plays Mateer can make with his legs. He's the kind of quarterback that you can get him. You can get OU in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. But then he can break your back on with a 9-yard run to pick up a first down. And it's going to look choppy. That's just the way the offense looks. It's going to look choppy. And, they're going to hope to get the ball in the hands of the playmakers. And that's Isaiah Satania's playmaker number one.
So what you're telling me is take the under in this football game.
I was just told. I didn't know what the over-under was. I was just told 36.5.
Is that, I haven't looked. No, I haven't even looked at it. It's 36.5 is the total.
Oh, their whole philosophy really, and they'll tell you that, is like, yes, do enough on a complementary football, right? So if the defense is extraordinary, which it is, and the special teams are extraordinary, which it is, and if you're on the 37-yard line, you don't need to try to take a risk to get the ball downfield because Tate Sandell will hit from 54, then that's what you do. So, yes, take the damn under, man, no doubt.
This is Kirk Ferentz's dream scenario. A total in the mid-30s. Jeez. Dari Noka is with us. Wow. But that does speak to how good both of these defenses at times have been. And I think Oklahoma is the best defense in the SEC. So what has made them so good this year, Dari, on that side of the ball?
Oh, Brent Venables is special. But it's not only is it his play calling, which is incredibly creative. You watch the movement before the snap. It's almost as fun as actually watching the plays develop themselves. You've got guys that you knew you'd have. Now, they haven't had our Mason for the last 2.5 ball games, and I don't know that they'll have him for this one either, but there's incredible depth. There's depth at tackle. They've got two guys they'll start, Dominic Williams and Grayson Halton, and then they'll rotate in two more, David Stone and Jaden Jackson for the next series. They stay fresh that way. They'll rotate their defensive ends. And then they've got a couple of guys that they didn't, you didn't expect to be superstars potentially, and they are. And that's Taylor Wine, number 44, defensive end, and Owen Heineke, a linebacker, at number 38. And that is in addition to veterans like Kobe McKenzie and Kip Lewis. So there's a phenomenal freshman cornerback that, I'm sure LSU will try to test. Number 4, Cortland Guillory. But outside of him, they're very experienced in the backfield. So it's a combination of experience, a little bit of pleasant surprises from guys they didn't necessarily expect to get a lot from, and then just extraordinary depth up front. And it starts on that defensive line. They're so good at getting pressure, especially interior pressure, which can blow plays up before they get a chance to get started. But then again, BB is so creative, man. He's so creative on that defensive side.
Couple more minutes here with Dari Noka. That's horrifying against a really bad LSU offensive line. It's just a terrible matchup for the Tigers.
And it looks like a banged up one too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to. I mean, their center Braylon Moore is a Virginia Tech transfer. Has been their best guy all year. He's not going to play in this game. It's just Ori Williams, who had kind of taken over one of the tackle spots. He's not going to play in this game either. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
The under is very much in play. Yeah. You mentioned special teams, and I do like to ask about the third phase. That's been a problem for LSU. Walk me through, if you would, just the high points there for OU.
Well, let's start with their kicker, Tate Sandell, who's a Groza finalist. He's made his last 22 field goals. He's 7 for 7 from 50 plus, and he's hit 4 from exactly 55 yards. He missed his first field goal of the season. It was against Michigan, and he's made 22 since. He's got incredible. And I'm telling you, man, you remember like the arena goalposts, how skinny they are?
Oh yeah.
You could use that, and he'd probably still be 22 for 23. He is down the middle. They trust him with any situation, 55 and in, any of it, and he'll probably hit. So they've got him, which buys your offense a lot of leash because you don't have to take those chances if you're on that 34, 35, 36-yard line. You'll take the 3 points. The second thing is their punter, Grayson Miller. He punted 9 times against Missouri. 5 of those went for 50-plus. 4 of those pinned him inside the 20, and 1 late in the fourth quarter, a big one inside the 10. He's been great all year. He's a transfer from Central Oklahoma. Cover teams have been good. They did give up 1 punt return touchdown against Texas, Ryan Niblett. Outside of that, they've been sensational. And Satania, as a return guy, he's had a couple of fumbles in those scenarios, 1 big one against Ole Miss. But he is so fast and explosive that if he gets that, if he's able to return it, look out. So special teams is a real plus for Oklahoma.
Hey, Dari, before you go, time very much appreciated. I think we've probably already touched on it plenty, but what do you think is Brent Venables' blueprint on Saturday to get a win and very likely punch a ticket to the playoff?
Yeah, I think it's make Michael Van Buren very, very uncomfortable with, again, a lot of creative looks. If Van Buren thinks he's going to drop back and take off up the middle, he's not. Interior pressure is going to be key. You can see that, in other games that they've played. So I think it's heat him up from all angles. That's BB's thing. Never let him know where you're coming from. Keep him uncomfortable in the pocket. It worked beautifully against Ty Simpson in Tuscaloosa. And I think you ride that defense and special teams. And if your offense can give you, 2 touchdowns, then I think he thinks he's got a really good chance to win, and he's probably right.
Get him on Twitter at ESPN Dari. Of course, see Dari Noka on the SEC Network, but you also hear him on the ref there, Norman and OKC, talking about the Sooners every single day. Hey, man, we always appreciate it. Thanks for the time. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
Hey, you as well. Thanks, buddy.
We appreciate it. That is Dari Noka hanging out with us here for a couple of minutes.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Talkin' Tigers. Presented by Lake Urgent Care. Lake Urgent Care. With 14 locations, caring for communities near you and always available at lakeurgentcare.com. Talkin' Tigers. Linebacker Whit Weeks.
Well, I broke my ankle again, which that's not fun, so it just hurts. And I mean, like, I can't really, like, play football on it because I could hardly even walk for 6 weeks, so that was the issue.
Quarterback Michael Van Buren Jr.
Our biggest challenge is going to be ourselves. I feel like, if we go out and execute the way we're supposed to, execute all the stuff that we run in practice all week, it shouldn't be a big problem for us.
Cornerback DJ Pickett.
Really, I'm just trying to grow this year. I got people in my room like Musso, PJ Williams. I'm just learning from them guys and just feeding off their energy and just trying to get better each and every game.
Linebacker Whit Weeks.
So we went Ole Miss and then off week. Yeah. Didn't do anything the off week. And then the week of South Carolina, I was like, holy cow, I hardly even practiced before that game just because I could hardly even walk on it. But then just kind of sucked it up for that game. But then I remember on Sunday, I was taking a shower and I was like, I can't even stand in the shower. I probably need to go get this checked out. Sure enough, got an MRI on it. And sure enough, it was broken.
Quarterback Michael Van Buren Jr.
Of course, we all know they got a pretty good defense, but we focus on ourselves right now, getting ourselves better throughout this week, and just trying to fix all the things that need to be fixed from last week, from the week before that, so we can go out and play our best football on Saturday.
Cornerback DJ Pickett.
I've been leaning on the guys heavy in the film room, at practice. Just them teaching me the ins and outs of the game, and just those guys just helped me get me in the right position, and them guys have been real helpful this year.
Linebacker Whit Weeks.
So it's not something, I guess, once you get to the offseason that would require a procedure. It's just
They said because it cracked right down the middle, so once it's healed, but it's going to take a couple more weeks, hopefully. I'm trying to turn that corner, but just struggling.
A couple more weeks, or like a month, or it's just a couple more weeks?
Yeah, they said it just depends on your healing and the blood flow. It depends on so many different factors.
Quarterback Michael Van Buren Jr.
Yeah, it'll be good, to go on the road and get a win in general. No matter what they got going on their side, we focus on ourselves right now. So our main thing is going out there and getting a win this weekend.
Cornerback DJ Pickett.
One thing I think I've done best is my cover skills. One thing I do need to work on is just in kind of like the run support. I feel like I need to get bigger in the offseason. I want to play at 200 next year, so that's what I'm going to do next year.
Linebacker Whit Weeks.
I think so. I was able to play 14 snaps last week, hopefully get 30 this weekend. As long as I can move, I'm going to go out there and play.
Quarterback Michael Van Buren Jr.
I wouldn't really say nothing specific, honestly. I just say I just need to work on being a leader and, just taking command of the offense, and doing my job. If I do my job, then, it's going to make all 11 or all 10 around me better. So
Talking Tigers, Eagle 98.1, Game Day.
Trust isn't given, it's earned. On the field, I trust my team. For my healthcare, I trust the lake.
Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders Pool.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Lockmair to Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lockmair to Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
Attention diesel mechanics, River Parish Contractors has an immediate full-time opening with benefits. Valid licenses and TWIC card is required to apply. Call or text Big Jake today at 985-479-9858 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on Apply Now. Come be part of the team that values hard work, has a high standard of excellence, and delivers projects on time and safely. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
98.1.
Renovation, new build, we solve it all. See the work at westleyusa.com or follow us on LinkedIn.
Eagle 98.1, WDGL and HD1 Baton Rouge. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Keys to the V. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment. Choose chill.
And we bring in former Tiger Richard Dixon, who'll be with me on post game. Rich, you're from Mississippi. Your dad and your grandfather both played college football in the state of Mississippi at those teams that faced off in the Egg Bowl yesterday. We thought that there would be distractions for Ole Miss, but they certainly looked keyed in yesterday, and now Lane Kiffin on the verge of making his decision here.
Yeah, I feel like it was a track meet to start the game. The first two drives go down the field and score. Offense definitely looked like they was keyed into the game. And look, they look good. They came out and played a really good game and dealt with the distractions.
What do you think is going through Keith Carter's head right now, the AD at Ole Miss? From what we can gather, Lane Kiffin would love to stay coaching this team, but they're just not going to allow that if he's headed to LSU.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really tough decision. I mean, Lane's kind of said it the whole way through. It's about these guys, the kids on the team that, they've been there for 2 seasons. They'd like to finish it out, but I also see from the school standpoint is, they don't want the world watching LSU's head coach have success with another program.
You know, I thought you had a real good explanation on this yesterday about how you sort of justify this to the team. This would have been a lot harder 10 years ago when everybody was locked into the same program and transfers were not nearly as common as they are now. You're looking at a good portion of this roster. It's a year-to-year thing that they've been there for 1 year. So I realize this is still an unusual situation, but does that make it a little bit easier?
Yeah, I definitely think it does. I mean, Lane said it in his, I guess, I don't know, it was Wednesday or Thursday, but he said that, you know, half of that team had never played an Egg Bowl, and the other half of the team, you know, they're going into it for a second time. It's a lot different when, you know, when I was coming through, and if a coach left, I still had to sit out of here if I wanted to leave. I just couldn't pick up and leave and go anywhere. These guys are playing on one-year contracts. Each year's a new year. It makes it a lot easier to sell that, you know, hey, guys, we brought together for 2025. We're not talking about a 4-year college career.
Okay, we'll see what he decides to do. Let me ask you about today's game. LSU's offensive line, they will be without, I think, you know, some key players. Ori Williams, you thought, had been playing over the last 2 games better than any of the other linemen. He is out today, but they're going to get Tyree Adams back. We'll see how much he plays. Rich, what can they expect from him after basically a little bit better than a month off?
Man, it's going to be tough to tell. Just, you know, how he shakes back, how he knocks the rust off. I don't know how much practice time he's gotten since the tightrope surgery. But, you know, look, these guys just need to go out there, play, have fun. You know, just try to finish the season on a good note. I mean, they've struggled all year on offense. But, you know, they can always still play their best game. You
were an intricate part of the passing game at the tight end position. So let's talk about how this passing game is going to be affected. For both teams today, we're looking at winds in the 20 to 25 mile an hour range.
It's going to be short, quick stuff. I mean, the deep balls where that wind really gives you a hard time, can move the ball a little bit in the air. But if you're running, you know, 10 yards, 15 yards, staying in the game, quick game, we shouldn't affect them too much.
All right, give me your best read. By the time we line up for postgame 90 minutes after the end of this, will we know where Lane Kiffin's going to put his head on a pillow tonight?
I hope so. I'm tired of checking my phone.
I agree. All right, Rich, we'll see you after the game, buddy. Thanks.
All right, man. Later.
Clemson just scores a touchdown. They go up 14-7 on South Carolina. Got a fortuitous bounce there.
Yes, they did.
As Cade Klubnik fumbled a football and got a basketball bounce right back to him. And he was able to run it in for a score. And Michigan leads Ohio State 6-3. They're getting ready to start the second quarter in Ann Arbor. We'll take a break. We're going back to Norman, Oklahoma. When we return, talk to the voice of the Tigers, Chris Blair. That is next here at Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, Our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
We typically think of stress.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Inside the stadium. Presented by Louisiana Federal Land Bank. Louisiana Federal Land Bank. Financing all things country.
And we go back up to Norman, Oklahoma. Talk to the voice of the Tigers, Chris Blair. Chris, good morning. How are you? Or good afternoon, I should say now.
I'm good, but it's still cold. So yeah, it's cold up here, Charlie.
We're watching Michigan, Ohio State, where the snow flurries are starting to pick up a little bit as we see Ohio State score a touchdown to go up 9-6 with the extra point to come. Give me an idea of the wind conditions that these teams are going to be dealing with this afternoon.
Yeah, it's going to be awfully windy. I mean, we're en route now from Oklahoma City, from the team hotel over to the stadium, and you walk out this morning, as soon as you get out of the cover of the hotel, I mean, that wind will hit you. And again, I'm just watching the few trees on the prairies here, but they're all shaking pretty good. So when you check the forecast, which I watched again this morning, they're talking about pretty sustained winds, pretty whipping winds for most of the day. So, I mean, we look like we're going to be temperatures maybe in the mid-50s before the day is done. But the wind's going to make it feel a little colder, and obviously, could affect the game itself.
Chris, like I told you last week, I'm not going to put you in a difficult position to have to answer questions about potential coaches, but I do want to ask you about this is not a normal trip. We understand what's going on. Certainly the players and the coaches do. So just kind of from your perspective, watching this and how the team, the coaches, and everybody has handled what's, an awkward, I would say, transition period.
It was interesting. I noticed yesterday on the flight up, Charlie. I mean, the guys were all smiles. Everybody was in a pretty good mood around the hotel once we arrived. It was kind of that same feeling. And I think they've taken the approach. It's kind of what Frank talked about, last week and then again this week, which is, right now there's a 3-hour period where nothing that happens on social media, nothing that happens, on the networks is going to affect the way you play. Only you can impact that. And that's kind of been the message. So I think they're looking for this solace and vacuum, if you will, Charlie, of this 3+ hours to just go play football. Let the chips fall where they may. And then I'm sure everybody will be getting on the bus, getting on the plane, and everybody will be refreshing their social media nonstop. But I think that's kind of the push that the coaching staff has had with this team. Look, we can't control any of this stuff. All we can do is go out and play football, and let's go ruin things for Oklahoma, who certainly have their eyes on getting into the playoff.
And that would be Oklahoma's 10th win if they were to get it this afternoon. Let's talk about the offensive challenge, Chris, that LSU has this afternoon. With Michael Van Buren in the start against Arkansas, they did some nice things. They were able to get a few things going. Really struggled, though, last week against Western Kentucky. And this defense for Oklahoma statistically is the best they'll have seen all season.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I look at it two ways, Charlie. I mean, I thought he had a really good game, obviously, against Arkansas. And then, obviously, not a lot of offense production from anybody, really, against Western Kentucky. But in this Oklahoma game, when you looked at the last two games for Van Buren, Frank's talked about it, even Michael's talked about it with the media. You got to get off to a better start. Maybe, doesn't mean you got to put, 14 points up in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter, but you got to do more than they've done. However, in this matchup today with an Oklahoma offense that also isn't gangbusters, I think the message is let's get off to a fast start. Let's make some good decisions, maybe be a little aggressive early. But if it doesn't happen, it's not as if we have confidence in our defense. It's not as if the end of the world. So if by some chance we get in a low-scoring affair, a couple of punts early for both teams, that's okay, because I really think that's what the tone of this game is going to be.
Defensively, LSU will benefit from the return of Whit Weeks. I got to be honest with you, Chris. I was surprised when he revealed this week that he's been playing with a broken ankle, not just the deep bone bruise that we were told about. I don't know how you play with a broken ankle, but apparently he's been doing it. So getting him back today and whatever he is able to do, he played a little bit last week, be a boost to this defense.
Oh, and without question. I mean, I've said it to you, I guess, 4 or 5 weeks in a row. I mean, obviously you miss his individual play, but I just think the way he led the defense, he really is an extension of a coach, and I've told him this many times. I hope you go play football for the next 20 years, but if you don't, there is no doubt you're a carbon copy of a football coach. So I think that's where he benefits the defense a little bit better in this matchup. Again, John Mateer is going to be challenging. He's another dual threat quarterback. You're just hoping you can go and set the edge, contain him within the pocket, and make him beat you with he and his receivers, because not only can he run, much like LSU, they got a stable of backs too, and we'll probably see a steady rotation and diet of all of them throughout this game.
And to keep Mateer corralled, if you will, LSU's had some problems with running quarterbacks before, and it seems like just in the last couple of weeks, especially last week against Missouri, they have dialed up the number of times he is running the football. And I don't know if you went back and watched that film, Chris, whether all of these were design runs or some of them were scrambles, but 18 carries for a quarterback's a bunch.
Yeah, it is. And, I've watched, I think, about 3 of their last 4 games and then one of their early season games. And I'm with you. I mean, I think sometimes, obviously, there are design runs for Mateer, but I think he sides or at least leans towards the position of, if I'm going to scramble, I'm not scrambling long. And again, I think as long as you set the edge defensively, which is another big reason I'm excited Whit Weeks is back out there, just to get everybody in the right position, I think he's less likely to do what Diego Pavia does, which is really extend the play. I think he'll show his hand, at least from what I've seen on film, when it's a scramble that he's eventually just deciding to run.
Chris, I guess I was surprised a little bit when I read the stat or read the note earlier this week that LSU's never played a game in the state of Oklahoma. I guess it just didn't occur to me. But, no, they've never played one there. You ever called a game in Oklahoma?
Never have been to the stadium, Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, just driven by it a couple of times. So this is my first trip here. Again, the weather is what it is today. I would say it's kind of like going to Fayetteville twice in November.
Is that a good thing?
Oklahoma City's nice. And it's only 17 miles away.
I've been to Oklahoma City. I've never been to Norman. We went and saw a game. This is 20-some-odd years ago. The Bricktown ballpark, which was minor league baseball. It's a really nice little park, but I've never been to Norman. So you guys will have to brave the elements today. Have a great call, Chris, and a safe trip home. And we will talk to you whenever LSU tees it up. Hey, you got any thoughts about since we're talking about any thoughts about a bowl game destination or anything like that, or are we not that far down the road yet?
I mean, we have talked about it. I tend to yield to people who follow it much closer than I do, and the answer is, Charlie, I would probably confuse you even more than anybody else already is, because I've heard about 6 different destinations, from Memphis to Jacksonville to Tampa to even Houston again.
Well, the reason you've heard 6 is because that's how many bowls are eligible for the pool that LSU is likely to go in. In fact, I think they're locked into that pool of 6. So it'll be one of those. So whenever we get that, we'll talk to you then. Appreciate it. Again, have a safe trip back and a good call, and we'll talk to you whenever that bowl game comes about.
You got it, man. Thank you as always.
All right, thank you. Chris Blair, the voice of the Tigers. We'll turn it over to Network Pregame here in about 13 minutes. Our LaBerge countdown to kickoff is 2 hours and 13 minutes. Let the sportsbook at LaBerge be your game day headquarters. We'll come back to our final scoreboard of the day from Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. The Robinson Brothers Ford Lincoln College Football Scoreboard. Robinson Brothers Ford Lincoln on airline under the giant American flag.
All right, we start at the Big House where number 1 Ohio State has taken the lead over number 15 Michigan 10-6. Touchdown pass from Julian Sand to Jeremiah Smith. Michigan with the football back, about 7.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Number 5 Texas Tech is cruising 28-0 on West Virginia as they count down towards the half. Texas Tech playoff team and headed towards the Big 12 championship game. Number 12 Miami leads number 22 Pitt 10-7. Again, both of these teams are still in the mix for the ACC title, but there's a lot of different scenarios in play there. 2.5 minutes to go to the break at Pitt. Louisville leading Kentucky 17-0. Miller Moss is back for Louisville. He has thrown a touchdown pass in the first quarter. They are now, the first half. There are now 2 minutes to go to the break. Clemson and South Carolina are tied at 14. Lenora Sellers has thrown 2 touchdown passes for South Carolina, and Cade Klubnik has a touchdown pass and a touchdown run. A little over a minute to go to the break there. Houston leads Baylor 17-6. They're also inside of 2 minutes to go to the half. Kansas State leads Colorado 7-0. Colorado with the ball down inside the Kansas State 10-yard line, 21 seconds to go in the first half. Iowa State leads Oklahoma State 10-7. That game has already gone to half. East Carolina, a big first half. They lead Florida Atlantic 35-3. And there's still 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Central Michigan leads Toledo 3-0. They're almost to the break there. Miami of Ohio leads Ball State 28-10. Early lead for UCF over number 11 BYU, 7-0. They're about halfway through the first quarter there. Musso, BYU cannot afford a loss for under any circumstances for either the Big 12 or the playoff.
Yeah, that would be pretty catastrophic to their hopes. BYU, strange team this year, Haney. They live dangerously a lot throughout that 10-1 record.
UTEP and Delaware are tied at 7 in the first quarter, and the same score for Florida International and Sam Houston. And those are the games that are in progress right now. We'll take a break, come back, and wrap things up here. But a little over 2 hours to go until kickoff, our LaBerge countdown to kickoff. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Lockmair to Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair...
98.1.
Back here at Rouse's, let them cover your holiday spread with all the different items that they've got here, all of your wine, your beer, your spirits, all of your food here from the bakery, Louisiana Seafood, the Mongolian Grill, the Chef's Collection, the bakery. Tons of items here at Rouse's Corner, Burbank, and Lee. All right, Musso, your final thoughts about the game or the coach or...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think this is going to go very well for LSU on the field at all. Lane Kiffin, final thoughts there. From everything we've been able to gather, Hanny, it sure sounds like by sometime today, he's going to be the LSU head coach. I think the time for an emotional decision has passed there. I think he knows what he's doing. I think they know what he's doing. I think, honestly, what he's lobbying for now is, hey, is there any chance I can coach a little bit longer? And if they say no and they take this team away from him, basically, that's just another reason to go out the door, is it not? So, I mean, I'm there right now that at some point today, again, with everything we've gathered, that Lane Kiffin will be the next LSU head coach.
Yeah, the SEC championship game was not really something that we had spent a lot of time talking about prior to today, because they did not control their own destiny and still don't, but now there's only one other domino that has to fall to put them in that game. I think that Kiffin wanted to coach the playoffs. That's been taken off the table a long time ago. The SEC championship game might have been a happy medium that he could coach his team one more time. At least from the vibes that we're getting, Ole Miss is not going to agree to that either, and I understand that. So now we are just basically waiting. Will something happen between now and the kickoff of the game? Something happen between now and the kickoff of the Iron Bowl? Or would something happen late tonight? I can't answer that. Only Lane Kiffin can answer that. But I'm like you. I think we'll see some resolution to this relatively soon, whatever that means.
Yeah.
As far as LSU on the field, with a revamped offensive line yet again against this Oklahoma defensive front, that's going to be a difficult ask for Michael Van Buren as well. Throwing the ball in these very windy conditions. It's going to be cold. The wind's going to be blowing anywhere from 20 to 25 miles an hour, with gusts even higher than that. So it's going to be tough. These teams are going to have to deal with rely on their running game. And LSU's run game has been pretty sporadic. So a tough deal there. I think LSU's defense keeps them in this game into the later part of the third quarter. But I think probably Oklahoma wears them down, not able to get enough first downs on offense and stay off the field. I think the LSU defense wears down, and Oklahoma comes away with the victory. But we'll see. We'll be back 90 minutes after the end of LSU and Oklahoma. We'll talk about the game and, well, whatever else happens to be going on at that time. Former Tiger Richard Dixon will join me. From all of us here at Rouse's, everybody back at the flagship, I'm Charles Hanagriff saying thank you and good afternoon. Have a great day. This has been Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
The following is an exclusive presentation of the LSU Sports Radio Network. It's football time in Louisiana. Today, the regular season comes to an end as the Tigers travel to take on number